Okay, sorry about that. Well, shoot, I'm trying to get my thing to come up here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So, big news, breaking news in the Thorpe world. Grace's car, she got pulled over by Sturbridge police last night. She went to get some Wendy's. I think it was Wendy's, and got pulled over by Sturbridge police. They seized her car for suspended registration, which she says she wasn't aware of. They seized the car. I think they said it was a $100 Uber ride back. They've got a Uber to court today, so that's kind of a disaster. But there's a she put a video. She's got a video of her in the back of the squad car and a couple pictures. If you're on the Discord, there's a bunch more. But I put the picture of them in the back of the squad car on my community page, and then there's the video she made from the back of the squad car on the Thorpe Alert playlist. So pretty wild evening and morning for the Thorpes. And then of course Ben's got court today, and Sturbridge is like is like Waterloo for the Thorpes. So who knows how that's gonna go? What a wild turn of events. But on the plus side, people who wanted to see Ben in the back of a squad car again, you got your wish. He just didn't stay there for very long. Anyway, today I'm gonna watch. This is the story of Andy Kaufman in Memphis wrestling. If you're not familiar with it, this is from a time when wrestling was like there were a lot of people in pockets of the country who still thought that it was real, and one of those pockets was Memphis, which was like one of the longest lasting territories even after Vince McMahon took WWE national. Like they had Jerry Lawler, and he was like not super well known outside the wrestling world outside of Memphis, but like in the Memphis area, like they called him the king like for a reason. Like he was the dude there, him and Bill Dundee. What was that other guy's name? Austin Idol. Like there were just guys that maybe didn't make a big splash as wrestlers in WWF or WCW, but were like huge during those territory days. So Andy Kaufman was a huge star at this time. He was on Taxi. He had been on Saturday Night Live. He had this like experimental performance art style that people just really weren't prepared for. They didn't know if it was real. They didn't know if they were supposed to laugh or they were supposed to like they didn't really know how to react to him. And he eventually got cancer and died, but before he died, he got to live out one of his like ultimate fantasies or his ultimate dreams, which was to be a pro wrestler. Obviously, it doesn't look like what a pro wrestler looks like, especially back then. But he was a really great actor, and he reached out to some territories to try to be able to go in and be a villain, be a villainous wrestler. And the Memphis territory agreed to do it, so he had a feud with Jerry Lawler. And I think what's interesting about this is Memphis was still very much regional at the time. There weren't a lot of people who were aware outside of Memphis what was going on there. And yet this dude loved wrestling so much that he wanted to go where it would be the most like where it would feel the most real, where he could get the biggest reactions out of the fans. And so I just think it's an amazing story. They ended up going on David Letterman. If you've seen Man on the Moon, there's several documentaries about this. I mean, it's an incredible story, especially if you're a pro wrestling fan. But I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan. But anyway, we're gonna watch all. Well, I don't know if it's all. I'm not 100% sure that it's like a complete listing of it. But this is like I looked at it. I saw all the major points that happened on Memphis TV. So this is like clips of his appearances and his storyline on Memphis Wrestling. Then I'm not good with. I didn't want to sit down and figure up all the times, but if we have time, I have a couple other things to show. But if not, we can do like a whole separate another Andy Kaufman episode another time. But so anyway, leading up to this clip, Andy Kaufman had been making some videos of him wrestling women. He basically was saying that, like, women belong in the kitchen, they should be cooking and cleaning, and he wanted to prove that by beating them in wrestling. Now, in real life, in his book, he said that, or it was written that it was like a sexual thing for him in his personal life to wrestle, to wrestle with women as like foreplay or whatever. But I don't know if that's true. It's hard to tell what's true with Andy Kaufman because everything is so like, unless you saw it happen or it's on video or something, it's hard to know what's real or not, which is one of the best, absolute best parts of Andy Kaufman. So anyway, he's been wrestling women. He's been calling them out. Now he is being interviewed here. I think this is I can't tell from the angle because he looks like Bob, kind of like it could be Bob Caudle or what's his name, Lance Russell. I think it's Lance Russell though. All right, let's get started. Andy was a weird dude, super weird dude, but like probably my favorite artist of all time. Like everything was just so bizarre and creative, and like it was like living art almost. So this is Lance Russell interviewing Andy Kaufman to set up his visit in Memphis.
I can verify the fact that it is certainly serious that gals are up there trying to take you apart, and you have no idea how good they are, how strong they are. You don't know when you get in there with them.
I've never seen them before in my life, and they just come up there, and I let the audience choose who I'm going to wrestle. I've never met a woman in the ring in the 3.5 years that I've been doing this who was able to pin my shoulders to the ground, and it's embarrassing. But now, I'm not saying women are mentally inferior to men, because when it comes to things like cooking and cleaning, washing the potatoes, scrubbing the carrots, raising the babies, mopping the floors, they have it all over men. I believe that. But when it comes to the wrestling, when it comes to them getting in the wrestling ring, there's nothing up there. They're all oatmeal north of the eyebrows. They're all, we Tina for brains, you know what I mean?
They're all oatmeal north of the eyebrows. Like, holy shit.
I will pay $1,000. I'll take on anybody who wants to come in that ring and volunteer. I don't think you can do it. You know why? Because I'm going to send you back to the kitchen where you belong. I'm going to have you scrubbing the potatoes and washing the carrots.
Now remember, this guy's in a regional wrestling promotion, right? The only people who can see this are people in the Memphis area. Like, obviously, media covered some of it because it was Andy Kaufman. This dude is a multi-millionaire. He's on a huge TV show, Taxi. He's been in movies. He's like this acclaimed artist. And like, he's choosing to go to Memphis and play this outlandish character, like, just for fun. Like, they found out after the fact that he never even cashed any of his Memphis checks. Like, they were all that. It was so important to him, like, the performance, that he never even cashed any of the checks. Like, they were better for him as, like, souvenirs. I just think that's so cool. You're worried about Ben's court appearance today? Well, yeah, they're going to have to Uber south to west since Grace's car got jacked by the cops.
Baby, because
Hey, Laughing Cedar.
That's where you belong, ladies.
Well, as it turned out, in Memphis, they had, I don't know, maybe a dozen or something like that, volunteers in very large...
Classic heel heat. Yeah, I mean, it's cheap heat, but it's well done cheap heat. Like, imagine these, like, these Memphis people that come to these shows, and most of them are probably, like, poor or working class. And here's this rich dude from Hollywood telling the women that that they're idiots and they should be cooking and cleaning. And then he'll get started on the guys later on too.
Large lady, Andy Kaufman,
I mean, he's telling you how tough he is and everything, and then he's only wrestling women. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
Barely got out of there with his money and his hide. He almost had too much to handle in Foxy.
At the beginning of that, if you look at it closely, you could see she was even taking advice from the great Jerry Lawler. Even the great Jerry Lawler, with his advice, she still couldn't do it.
I think one of the craziest guys in the world is Andy Kaufman, and
yeah, and sorry if it's like jarring going between the clips. I know I usually am a stickler for watching entire episodes, but there's just no way. The time investment, tracking down complete episodes would have been a complete nightmare. And honestly, I'm not really super interested right now in anything other than Andy Kaufman. So if there's it's gonna suck going from clip to clip, but just bear with it. It'll be worth it.
I think everybody who watches television knows this guy. He not only is a very successful nightclub comic, he's a television star, and in addition to that, a lot of people may not know that he is the world's intergender wrestling champ. Now, we have from time to time had the...
I'm just glad WWE let me keep what existed of the VOD up. I mean, it's still only a couple hours, but at least it's a couple hours. And they did. I can't do anything with it, but at least it's available.
Action of Andy Kaufman battling women chosen from the audience, and Andy had a match that I think you'll be interested in. This was the fourth one of a particular series that we saw. Let's take a look at it right now.
Ready?
Here we go. And the fourth one, a double leg dive. Kaufman down, comes to his knees. He's outweighed and by several pounds underneath the ropes, and it'll call for a break. Andy Kaufman moving around, goes in, ties in with a head scissors. She takes him down as Kaufman caught from behind. Now bundles her up. She's trying a crotch lift on him, but Kaufman hanging on. He's got himself a head scissors in there. Kaufman back up. Moves around the ring to get a little breath. Remember, he'd wrestled 3 matches prior to this one. He saved the largest competitor to last.
Hey, how's it going? Is it Eddie Kane, Maine?
Another Memphis, Tennessee participant.
Oh, yeah, I know Provo. I watch his streams, and I know him from the Thorpe TV, and then he's in here pretty regularly. Oh, he's doing an Andy Kaufman character? I'll check it out.
Andy Kaufman goes for a side headlock, standing.
Yeah, I'm inclined to believe that, Anthony, because if you look at the women's matches, they don't look like pro wrestling matches. They look like people who don't really know what they're doing, just trying to trying to like survive the match. Just like, you know, trying to get the other person to the ground. So there's not a lot of showmanship to these.
She hooks up in a waist lock. Picked up and down she goes. Andy Kaufman.
Oh, it's tied into the tarot stream. Okay, I saw that come up and I was like, what the hell's it? Why is he doing a tarot stream? But that makes sense now.
Struggling, we have passed the minute-and-a-half mark. We're halfway through. Kaufman almost, he's got one shoulder down. He can't get the other one. The left shoulder came up. Andy about to get his last pin, but he missed it. Trying to roll her back over. One minute to go. 1 minute. Andy Kaufman.
Also, like the tight time limit on this. If he were to get in trouble, he could just turtle up, and then he could just pop up and be like, "Hey, this wasn't. I didn't have to beat you. You had to beat me," which is a classic like wrestling, you know, way to get out of not winning.
Unable to roll her over, but remember, she has to pin him, not the other way around.
You really can't care, like, you really can't if you're gonna play a character. Like, I really like to play like an Alex Jones type of character, and I made some videos with it, but of course, like, some people don't. There are people who think that like it's real and take you seriously, and then there's people who see what you're doing and they're like, this is tasteless, and I'm not gonna watch it. But plus, it's gonna take so long to like develop. You know what I mean? Like, you have to put the character out there and live in it and have it interact with people, and then you know, see how it comes along. You may consider adding palm reading. I don't think so. I don't know about palm reading.
He's got her down. Will he get 1, 2? He got.
I don't think anyone I know would agree to come on the stream unless I did it like virtually, I guess.
Lawler. As you can obviously see, it was not easy, but that did not daunt Andy Kaufman at all. As a matter of fact, on that particular match, he was giving $500. Listen to what he has to say.
He's not frustrated people don't get. He's just trying to develop a character that's very separate from his personal life. Oh, not good for the bit. That's the worst for the bit. Yeah.
In this.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm very disappointed about the challenges that I received last week. As some of you might have seen last week, I polished off 4 women in a row, all in 30 seconds each. 30 seconds each. Now, I was a little disappointed. I'm going to come back in about a month, and I'm not going to offer $500. I have so much confidence in myself, I will offer $1,000 to any woman that can beat me in this ring in a month. Not only that, shut up, I'm talking right now.
On my playlist, if you look it up, if you like character shit, I only have one public video about it. There was a couple guys, one guy in Europe and one guy here made a really like a extreme horror movie, and I did a weird Alex Jones like advertisement for it, and that's like I think that's the only public video of the Alex Jones character.
I'm talking
Well, I was on Twitch all the time, but Twitch doesn't save the VODs.
right now. I want silence when I speak.
He's a minute man. He's like a half-minute man. 2 parts to the stream. May find the second half pretty keynote. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I was so confused when I saw that tarot. I thought he was gonna like, since he's like religious, I thought he was gonna like, it was gonna be an anti-tarot stream.
Okay, now just be quiet. I will pay $1,000 to any woman that will beat me in this ring. I will not only do that, I will shave my head completely bald if I am beaten here. And any woman that will beat me.
The Letterman thing is so bizarre. I have it queued up in case it's not in here. I couldn't really tell. I think this is only stuff that was on Memphis TV, but that had to be just, I didn't see it live, but that had to be such a wild thing, like this big star, and he's on here with this like, you know, I mean, he was a big star and a rich guy, Jerry Lawler, but he wasn't like a nationally known person at that time. So that had to be so weird for people to see, like, and then that slap is just so good.
As an extra prize, she will get to marry me right here.
As an extra prize, she gets to marry me.
She will take my hand in marriage. I will offer my hand in marriage if she beats me right here. That is a promise.
I'm not 100% sure. I tried to find like, I tried to find the most complete like list of clips that I could, and I think it's fairly complete, but it might not have everything.
I got an idea, Mr. Andy Kaufman, before you raise your hand now.
Jerry Lawler making comments.
For 4 weeks till it's out of you.
So it was an anti-tarot stream, but it was like packaged in a non-preachy way. So it was like an entertaining way of getting his message across.
Why don't you give her another 3 minutes, okay?
And I don't know why Jerry Lawler's getting his nose into it. He has nothing to do with this, and he's saying, let's give him another 3 minutes. He should keep his nose out of my business.
I had agreed to be in Foxy's corner and give her pointers during the match. And here was a guy who they obviously didn't like because of the things he had said about women. And Andy Kaufman, after already pinning her, had her down, rubbing her face in the mat.
Hold on. Did I skip us forward past something?
The things he had said about women. And Andy Kaufman, after already pinning her, had her down, rubbing her face in the mat. And there's 10,000 people hollering, hey, Jerry, get in there and do something.
Get it. I'm sorry.
I think one of the craziest guys in the world is Andy Kaufman, and I think as you can obviously see, it was not easy, but that did not daunt Andy Kaufman at all, as a matter of fact.
Is this
On
the
that
one?
particular match, he was giving $500. Listen to what he has to say in this.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm very disappointed about the challenges that
I'm sorry. I'm really high, and I'm like, my computer really sucks, so I'm trying to to navigate this. Sorry for skipping it.
I received last week. As some of you might have seen last week, I polished off 4 women in a row, all in 30 seconds each.
30 seconds each. Now, I was a little disappointed. I'm going to come back in about a month, and I'm not going to offer $500. I have so much confidence in myself, I will offer $1,000 to any woman that can beat me in this ring in a month. Not only that.
Eventually, when we watch Smoky Mountain Wrestling, there'll be like some nice shades of this worked into how they deal with the crowd there.
Shut up! I'm talking right now! I'm talking
William Shatner, that sounds like a rib.
right now! I want silence when I speak! Okay, now just be quiet! I will pay $1,000 to any woman that will beat me in this ring. I will not only do that, I will shave my head completely bald if I am beaten here. And any woman that will beat me.
I think my favorite, like, getting worked up in the ring and inventing stipulations is when Ric Flair in the 90s was getting into it with Eric Bischoff, and Ric Flair was like, you know what? If you beat me, you can shave my head, woo, and you can shave my balls.
As an extra prize, she will get to marry me right here. She will take my
Or it might have been shave my ass. I can't remember.
hand in marriage. I will offer my hand in marriage if she beats me right here. That is a promise.
I got an idea, Mr. Andy Kaufman, before you raise your hand now.
Jerry Lawler making comments.
For 4 weeks telling how tough you are. Why don't we do this? Why don't you give her another 3 minutes, okay? What do you say?
And I don't know why Jerry Lawler's getting his nose into it. He has nothing to do with this, and he's saying, let's give him another 3 minutes. He should
It looks like maybe that clip's... Whoever made this playlist couldn't find that clip.
keep his nose out of my business.
I had agreed to be in Foxy's corner and give her pointers during the match. And here was a guy who they obviously didn't like because of the things he had said about women. And Andy Kaufman, after already... Hey, Jerry.
He had a run-in with Lawler during the King's Court. Still, though, like, Lance Russell, that's like his main... Well, one of the main dudes I think of when I think of, like, Lawler and Memphis. Maybe it's because it happened in Memphis, so, like, you know how Vince is sometimes. If it's not a WWE thing, he doesn't care for it.
Get in there and do something.
35 seconds. The winner and still the intergender champion in 8 minutes 35 seconds, Andy Kaufman.
That's really where it all started. I finally went into the ring and just to...
Oh, yeah, Vince considered Lance too regional, not a big enough star. Yeah, for sure.
Just to kind of lift Andy up off of her. It was like he sailed halfway across the ring, landed on his back, and
I think we'll see big changes. I think that the last Hall of Fame was already, I felt, quite a bit different, but I think we'll see even more. I think we'll see more honoring of people that were never in WWE or who were, you know, made their biggest splash somewhere else. I think it'll be much more. I think Triple H is much more like into the history than Vince was.
jumped up screaming that he was going to sue everybody inside.
Congratulations, Foggy.
Did you see that old school goth girl trying to fight Andy Kaufman?
Once again, the time, ladies and gentlemen, 8 minutes, 35 seconds. Whoa!
Did you see how proud that lady was? She was like, that'll teach him.
Andy Andy Kaufman, the winner and still the entertainer.
It all went downhill from that.
Lawler, I don't wrestle men. You don't touch me.
I don't wrestle men.
Hey, baby, I'll sue you for everything you've got. You won't have anything left when I'm through with you.
Jerry the King Lawler, Southern heavyweight champ. And Jerry said I need a little time because I got something I want to talk to you about, and I'm trusting his good judgment.
Well,
what is all this, Jerry?
I got something that is a little unusual to talk about. Can you tell what that is? That's a. Have you seen a deposition before?
Oh, boy, look
That's
at
exactly what.
Yeah.
Wait, what on what?
I got. Well, let me go back in time just a little bit. Does everybody remember when Andy Kaufman? Remember Andy Kaufman, the guy from Taxi and everything?
Taxi, yeah.
He came to Memphis, and he wanted to wrestle some women and everything.
Yep.
Well, okay, he came here a few months ago, and he did wrestle and beat several women, but there was one girl named Foxy who gave him a tough battle.
Really?
So she came back and wrestled him again, and he did finally win the
Hey, Leave, how's it going?
match. But I was in her corner, gave her a few pointers and everything, and after the match was over, he kind of roughed her up a little bit. Well, I went in the ring and kind of pulled him off and maybe shoved him back a little bit. Well, day before yesterday, I got a knock on my door, and
It's so subtle, but it's so good. This is such an amazing, like, baby face promo. He's being insulted by this rich guy from Hollywood who's, like, incendiary, and he's doing exactly what he should do. Oh, shucks, Andy Kaufman, big star, he had success here, but, I just tried to help her out for a minute. I pushed him back a little bit. This, like, aw shucks routine is perfect.
a man delivers me a videotape and this, which is a deposition given to a lawyer and a court reporter from Andy Kaufman, and apparently I'm being sued by Andy Kaufman now. And I just want to show you this tape from Andy Kaufman if you want to look at this.
Okay.
Can you run this?
Yeah,
This is
here it
the
is.
silliest thing you've
Do you
ever.
remember me? I'm Andy Kaufman from Hollywood. Remember, you pushed me around in the ring last time I was down in Memphis, Tennessee? Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Lawler. I am not a hick. I am not from Memphis, Tennessee. I don't come from Tennessee like you do, okay? I come from Hollywood, California, where I make movies and TV shows. I am a national television star, and I want the respect that I deserve when I come down to Memphis. And I don't like any hick like you pushing me around in the ring. I never agreed to wrestle you. I was
Lawler had excellent psychology, really underrated. Oh, yeah, top 5 for me all time.
wrestling someone else. You stuck your nose in. You came in the ring. You pushed me around, and now you know what I'm going to do? Mr. Lawler, I have a lot of money, okay? A lot of money. And I've hired a lawyer, and I am going to sue you for every cent that you've got. Every cent that you're worth. You will be in debt.
This is like the original VC. Now, Andy Kaufman is in California making movies, doing TV, doing Taxi, so he can't go to Memphis and be on these shows. So he's sending these videotapes to Jerry Lawler in Memphis to play so that he can irritate the fans from like all the way across the country.
To me for the rest of your life. You'll never eat again when I'm through with you. You'll wish you never heard the name Andy Kaufman. Do you hear me? Do you believe me? You don't believe me? Just in case you don't believe me, I brought my lawyer with me. You'll meet him right now, Mr. Bob Zamuda.
Okay, Bob Zamuda, if you don't know, is Andy Kaufman's best friend. Creative partners, they were like super close. He handled all of his affairs after he died. He also played the character Tony Clifton whenever Andy didn't play it. And after Andy's death, he continued to play that character, Tony Clifton. And on a personal note, Tony Clifton as a character is probably one of the most influential like pieces of art that I ever saw. Like, I saw Tony Clifton and I was just like, that's it. Like, that's that's fantastic art.
Oh, Mr.
So this is just, it's like literally he's just bringing his best friend on pretending to be a lawyer, which is epic.
Mr. Kaufman, the bottom line is this. The law is the law. assault and battery is assault and battery. It does not matter if this man attacked you viciously on the street of New York City or in L.A. Well, it wouldn't happen in Los Angeles here. But in the South, if you were attacked on
This wouldn't happen here in Los Angeles.
the street or if you were attacked in a wrestling ring, you did not sign any contract that you were going to wrestle that man that evening.
That's right.
He jumped in the ring. He hit you. It's just as much if a spectator jumped in that ring and hit you over the head, like this man clubbed you. I saw the tape.
Tell me, do I have
he
a
would
case?
be.
Do I have a case, Mr. Zimmerman?
You have a perfect case.
Okay, if I sue him, will I win?
Yes, you will, sir.
Okay. Will he ever eat again?
If somebody gives him a handout.
Well, Mr. Lawler, I hope you have a lot of friends that'll give you handouts, because when I'm through with you, you won't be able to eat again.
And again, I mean, I know I keep saying this, but it's just so amazing to me. This isn't being seen nationwide. This is only being shown in like the Memphis television area. And like eventually the news started covering it and you would see a little bit, but like they didn't cover the whole story. So like this is all happening regionally, which is insane to me, like that he would put this much work into it for such a small audience. But again, for him it was like the experience, I guess. Hey, what's up, Spicoli? These guys were coked up all the time? Hell yeah. Yeah, you do coke and like have like hotel room parties and like wrestle women like for entertainment rather than for art.
See you in court, my friend.
Time to wake and bake? Hell yeah.
Forgotten the whole
Well,
issue.
yeah, I had forgotten it too. Well, let me just tell you what I figured out on this Andy Kaufman situation is the fact that probably when Andy Kaufman was growing up, maybe a little kid.
Aw, shucks, I'm just a small-town bird lawyer, but it seems to me like...
He, at that time, was obviously a big wrestling fan. Probably fantasized, as all little kids do. You want to be a policeman or whatever. He probably fantasized when he was a little...
You took 11 grams? Wow, that's a pretty heroic dose.
...child that he wanted to be a wrestler someday. Well, unfortunately, when he grew up, Mother Nature was not so kind to him, and he grew up to be a wimp. Just...
Hold on, did Jerry Lawler just insinuate that Andy Kaufman is a genetic failure?
A tall, skinny idiot like he is. And so he realized that he could never fulfill his dream of becoming a professional wrestler. Now, whatever you wanted a long time ago, when you're finally able to get these things, you realize that, whatever you really wanted, you really go after them later on in life. Like myself, when I was a little kid, my parents would never let me drink soft drinks. When I was old enough finally to make my own decision, I drink about 10 a day. Now, so
Now, that's probably extremely true because Jerry Lawler's like notorious for collecting Coca-Cola memorabilia. So he's kind of a different type of Coke, though.
That's obviously what happened to Andy Kaufman was he knew he could never be a
You're smoking King Louis? I'm finishing out the black cherry gelato. It's not that great, though.
wrestler. So he had to settle, which is, no bad deal. He became a television star and made movies and everything, which is very nice. But apparently from doing all of this, he made enough money that he finally sat back and said, with all this money I've got, maybe I can live out my fantasy of being a wrestler. Now, I'm sure what went through that warped mind of Andy Kaufman was he said, now, it's no way I could wrestle a man or beat a man, so I will wrestle women. So now he goes all around the country and he wrestles women, and the poor women, they feel like it's a big...
I wonder if, I don't know if something like this could work now or not. Probably not, because it would be, no, because everybody would know. So, yeah. I don't think you could replicate this unless you had like a really wild person who was willing to do some crazy, maybe, if we get like a reincarnation of Brian Pillman, maybe.
Big honor to be in the ring with somebody that's on network television, that's somebody that's a big star. So they go in there, and Andy Kaufman makes a fool.
Wally George? Is that somebody on, is that a YouTuber? I don't know who that is.
Out of them just because they think it's a big deal to be in the ring or wrestle a big star like Andy Kaufman.
He puts up a lot of money.
That's right. Well, yeah, but the main thing is they think it's a big deal to be in there with Andy Kaufman. And he makes a fool out of them, and at the same time, he lives out his fantasy. He thinks that he is a wrestler. Well, let me just say this, Andy Kaufman. You can sue me, and you can get all of these. This lawyer looks like the kind of guy that specializes in whiplash cases, that chases the ambulances. You can get all the...
An ambulance chaser.
Lawyers you want to, Andy Kaufman, and you can sue me all you want to, but I've got a very simple solution for you, wimp. And I realize that he's obviously got somebody taping this, or he's going to find out what I say. So if Andy Kaufman wants to live out his fantasy of being a wrestler, I can let him live that out real easily, Lance. If he would ever once step into the wrestling ring with a man, you would see what it would be like to be a wrestler, and it would end.
I can't today, Spicoli. With Ben going to court, I've got to watch something that's soothing to keep my nerves under control, especially with Grace's car getting seized by the Sturbridge police.
Your fantasies and in your dreams in just about 30 seconds, and you would never want to be in a wrestling ring again. So if you want to do that, we can settle it two ways, Andy Kaufman. We can settle it in court, which your case is a joke. You know, Lance, I barely pushed the guy. That's a joke. Or what I would propose, and what I think everybody would love to see, is Andy Kaufman come and get in the ring with a real wrestler and let him see what it's like to really wrestle. How would that be?
Sounds fine enough.
Okay.
And that
Could you
sounds like
maybe get that message to Mr. Andy Kaufman for
I'm
me?
sure that we will, and like you
appreciate
say, he'll know it. Jerry, that we've had a lot of conversations, a lot of weird things, but that's an unusual one for Jerry.
Wow.
It's a classic. I want you people to watch closely this tape that Andy Kaufman sent in. Then I got something else to say. Can we watch this?
Let's roll it now and take it.
Mr. Lawler, I've heard all these things you've been saying about me on television. You want to wrestle me? You want to wrestle me, Memphis style? All right, fine. I'm not afraid of you, Mr. Lawler, because let me tell you something. True, I only wrestle women, but I've wrestled women that are a lot bigger and stronger than you. Matter of fact, they're probably smarter than you because you don't have any brains. You're from Memphis, Tennessee. All you do is plow the fields and farm and the farm and is that how you talk to Memphis, Tennessee, Mr. Lawler? Boo. See, Mr. Lawler, you don't have any brains.
Why did they take Grace's car? She got in trouble for she said she went to Sturbridge to go to eat, but it was like fast food, like I think it was Wendy's, and she got pulled over, and apparently she has a suspended registration, and so they took the car. So there's like pictures. I posted one picture of Grace and Ben in the back of the squad car, and then they seized the car, and now they have to Uber everywhere.
I'm from Hollywood. I have the brains. That's how I win my matches. I say the bigger they come, the harder they fall. You might be twice as big as me, but I've wrestled women that are twice as big as me, and I've mopped the floor with them. And that's what I'm going to do with you, Mr. Lawler. You challenged me to a wrestling match. I think you bit off a little more than you can chew. I'm going to wipe the floor with you, Mr. Lawler. I'll give you a little sample. This is what's going to happen when you and I wrestle each other in Memphis. Come here. What's your name?
Susan,
How tall are you, Susan?
6 foot,
And how much do you weigh?
327.
327 pounds. That's a lot more than you weigh, Lawler. Okay? Watch this. Let's go. Come on, baby! That's what's just gonna happen to you, Lawler! See? Come on, baby! Come on!
Andy, I think you really hurt her.
Doesn't matter. She doesn't have any money. She's poor. She can't sue me. See, I can do anything I want. Let the camera off. Come on. Shut this camera. See? Oh, see? Come on, baby. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I am leaving.
Holy shit, what a segment. What an absolutely insane segment. Andy Kaufman gets wrestling. That's exactly how it would be done in like a regular wrestling angle. That was perfect. The lawyer coming over. Oh my God, I think you really hurt her. Yeah, if there's segments missing, again, I'm sorry. I went with the most complete version I could find.
You will never see this face here again! I shall return, my friend. I shall return.
Nick Bockwinkel and Jerry the King Lawler got together to decide the.
Now here's one for the 80s WWF fans, or 90s I guess too. This is like super young Jimmy Hart when he was getting started. Is that Bobby Eaton that's with him?
Title holder on it, and I must tell you that Jimmy Hart had a prominent role. Stay right where you are, because I want you to see the end of that match and the most incredible
Are you actually going to show the
that
film?
I'm going to show.
Bless your heart, Russell.
Hey,
I want to give you a big kiss. We ought to give you a big kiss.
Let's take a look at it. Round one, but Bockwinkel slips out of it. And Hart about to have a fit in the corner with Dundee right next to him. Billy grabbed his shoulder and held him down. Boy, double right hands, and Bockwinkel.
If you're not familiar with Nick Bockwinkel, he was a really high-level guy that never really made it nationally, but he was huge. He was AWA champion forever, like excellent wrestler, like a classy heel kind of character. And so his match with Lawler here, this would have been a really big match that was like, had been hyped up to the moon. Like, this is something that the crowd would have really like, this is too big, you know, people wrestling, so that like the stakes in this match were high.
And Lawler, who were both through the vicious 10 minutes of it, both stunned. They hit the deck hard, and Lawler and Hart up out of the chair, gets away from Dundee. Dundee grabs him by the waist while Lawler turns Bockwinkel over. He's got him. But the referee trying to get Hart back from the ropes, and Lawler still got him covered. He can't get a pin. Lawler goes over and blasts Hart loose. What is this? Here is Jimmy Hart on here. And
yeah, so like Nick Bockwinkel beating Lawler here would have really sent this crowd, especially in like a cheap ending like that, would have really pissed people off.
Jerry Lawler, we are dumbfounded with Jimmy Hart with no man.
Hold on a second. If Jimmy Hart's over here, then who's under the mask?
And Lawler was rolled up 1, 2, 3, and the winner is Nick Bockwinkel in 11:22. The world heavyweight title goes to him. I don't believe it. I can't understand it. What is this? Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman under the...
How can you not love professional wrestling? Like, what a cheesy but super entertaining story. Like, Kaufman's gone, says he's never coming back. Then they make put Jimmy Hart under a mask for a little bit, and then have Kaufman. Like, that's classic pro wrestling.
Guys,
Look at that, Russell! Come
It was me all along.
here, Andy! Come here! Come here, Andy! Come here, baby!
We got the brains!
what is this kind of a thing?
He who laughs the loudest, baby!
Lawler! I got you! You thought you saw the last of me! I'll keep coming till you end up in the hospital!
Imagine like the biggest baby face ever in your region of wrestling. Finally gets a shot at the world title. He beats Nick Bockwinkel, but he ends up losing the match because this asshole actor from Hollywood came out and interfered in the match.
And there they go,
Who is the
fleeing
smartest
for
man
their
in
life.
professional wrestling
Yeah.
in Warhammer?
What's the matter? Can't Kaufman keep a job or
Oh,
something
baby,
steady
they're
on
just
television?
so stupid. Hey, baby,
All he
I
does is
picked the
run
little
out.
phone up and I called him and I said, hello, is Andy Kaufman there in Hollywood? And the people said, who's calling? I said, Jimmy Hart, and she got him to the phone, and I told him what I had in mind, and I said, Andy,
I said, you're mad at Lawler. He almost put you out of your whole show business career. And he said, yeah, I'm mad. And I said, well, I'm mad too because he burnt my face. He tried to break my hand. He tried to do it all to me. But I said, let's don't be mad, baby. Let's just get even. Let's just get even, man. But you know what's so tragic about this thing? I just wish there was a couple people that could share this with me, Lawler. Your daddy and Sam Bass, baby, because I wish I were here with it, baby. Woo, because
It's kind of fun to see Jimmy Hart in almost like he seems like so much more aggressive here. Like he's always loud in WWF, but he always comes off as like a pipsqueak. Like here, you know, he would get beat down, but I feel like he almost seems like he would be willing to like go toe to toe with somebody.
it is the greatest day of my life.
Kind of like Bobby Heenan. Like you knew he would lose, but he was at least willing to get beat up if that's what it took to help out the Heenan family.
Greatest day of my life, baby.
Hey, would you just shut up a minute? I
Hey,
talked
shut
to
up,
him.
You shut up.
Don't ever tell me to shut up.
Tell him to shut
I'll
up.
slap you and send you to the back, baby.
We talked to Andy Kaufman and Jimmy Hart right after it was all over with, and take a listen to this.
You don't have no respect for him, man.
Miami, look at this, man. Tell him.
He's the smartest man.
I am in the locker room at the Mid-South Coliseum with Andy Kaufman and Jimmy, TV star Andy Kaufman. I will tell you right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a buffoon. Like here, it seems like he's like maybe it's just because he had like a successful plan, so he looked like really. This is a shining moment for him, but he just seems like a more I guess more masculine, I guess, or just more aggressive.
Right now, it is not my idea, but we are interested in finding out what led.
I think you'd get booed out of the building just wearing this jacket there in Memphis around this time.
To the kind of charade that took place that deprived Lawler of the world. Don't tell me it wasn't a charade. Everybody, you came out. Yeah, he lost it out there. Don't you have anything better to do than to run around trying to gig Lawler and bother him?
Jerry Lawler almost tried to break my neck last year. He made a fool out of me. He humiliated me, put me in the hospital for 3 days in traction. I had to wear a neck brace for 5 months. He did this to Jimmy Hart, broke his arm, okay? And so you say I don't have anything better to do? I won't stop. I'm not stopping now. Look, it gives me great pleasure to know that I had something to do with helping to prevent Jerry Lawler from having that world title. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to stop now. I won't stop until I find someone who's going to put Jerry Lawler into the hospital just like he did me. And it won't be for any 3 days. It won't be for a week. It'll be for a month, maybe for a year. Jerry Lawler will not want to go back into professional wrestling when I'm through with him because I'm offering $5,000 to any wrestler that can put him in the hospital. And I'm dead serious about this, ladies and gentlemen. I will not stop until Jerry Lawler is in the hospital.
Well, that's it.
See, and now you have this bounty story, right? Andy Kaufman's offering, thousands of dollars to whoever can take out Lawler. Now he can go back to work doing the TV show and shit, and they have a storyline back in Memphis that still involves him. So all you have to do is have a new heel come into the territory and say, hey, I'm here to collect the bounty on Jerry Lawler. There's a month's worth of shows until, Andy can get back and continue his storylines. That's really good booking.
Tell you one thing, you just better steer clear of him because I would expect as much out of you.
Who is the smartest manager in professional wrestling? And why am I? Like I said, man, can't you imagine when Lawler saw him over there? He thought he saw Jimmy Hart with a mask on. Then I jumped on the ring. He fainted. Botwinkle pinned him. Like I said, king, and I use that word loosely. He who laughs last laughs the loudest.
Okay.
King.
Isn't that enough? Do we have to listen to any more of it? Okay. Andy Kaufman, Jimmy
Jerry
Hart.
Lawler, try to
Just-
do something about
that's
it, my
right.
friend. Try to do something about it.
Wasn't that beautiful? Wasn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
And you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. Like I said, this is going to be the greatest year for Jimmy Hart he's ever had. Plus, it's already started off the greatest week of my life. Bobby's going to win me that Southern belt. He's got me the Mid-America belt now.
Not only am
Baby,
I
it's
going
going
to
to be
get you that
beautiful.
Southern belt, I'm going to collect that $5,000 from Andy Kaufman.
Can't you imagine the shock on Lawler's face? He fainted when he saw Hart. It's going to be great, Lawler. You ain't seen.
See, there you go. Now you've already got your next main event to build toward for a few weeks. Bobby Eaton's here, and he's just found out about the bounty, and he's in to do it. So it's really good, really good booking.
Nothing yet, baby.
Jimmy Hart, beautiful Bobby Eaton. They stand out here and want respect, and then you take a look at what you just saw in there. Well, Yeah, the way this one came about is Eddie Marlin, as a matter of fact, not only talked to Jerry, but talked to several of the top names around and said, hey, what kind of particular match you would like? We'd like to see if we can set it up for you, keep everybody happy and that sort of thing. And Lawler said, boy, I would love to get that Kaufman back in the ring again.
Should have seen. Oh man, I would have loved to have seen it live. I was too young to really like. Some of the territories were still around, but it wasn't the same. Like Vince had already started the national movement, so I didn't really never get to experience like episodic wrestling at like a regional level. But I think this is some like the storylines and stuff from this time I think are some of the best ever.
And so Eddie.
And I love the idea of the matches being in like the same place every week, so you get like the same crowds and stuff. I just think that's like such a cool atmosphere.
Went through all the procedures and channels, and he contacted Kaufman and offered him a substantial reward for coming down with Lawler again. And the end result of it was that Kaufman said that he would not go with Lawler by himself. It wouldn't be fair, or he would be stupid to take it. But he would go if he could bring a partner down. So Eddie Marlin contacted Lawler. Lawler said, fine, I want to get him in the ring.
I love, too, that this is being presented in, like, just a serious, like, he's just updating you on the news of the company. Like, I think that makes it, like, so much cooler than somebody doing, like, folks, you won't believe what happened tonight. You know, like, this, like, kind of like Lawler was in the 90s with, like, the, you know, the screaming and the, like, the artificial energy. Like, this is being presented like this dude is just reciting you, like, absolute facts.
And let's hear what Andy Kaufman has to say about that match, which has been made and will take place in Memphis, Tennessee. I must tell you that as the tape that you saw on David Letterman's show in there, some of Kaufman's language had to be edited out, so bear with it as we go through.
Hi, I'm Andy Kaufman, and last year I was in a wrestling match with a professional wrestler by the name of Jerry Lawler. I would say the match was pretty unfair, being that Jerry Lawler was twice my size, and I really wasn't prepared for what had happened. What happened was he used an illegal hold called the pile driver, where he banged my head into the mat, not only once, but twice, and purposely to injure me. Well, I ended up very injured. My neck was in traction for 3 days. I was lying in the hospital. I was just lying there in the hospital, unable to do anything, and it was a very painful thing for me to go through. And not only did he pile drive me in the mat during the match, but he also did it after the bell rang, which I think is very unfair. Well, as a result, I thought I would, stay out of wrestling for a while, but instead I've decided I'd like to give him a little taste of his own medicine. Mr. Lawler, I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine, and you're going to get a taste of what it feels like to lie in bed in a hospital room in traction for 3
I love the, like, slow escalation into madness.
3 days, but this time I think maybe even a week, because this man is going to do damage to you, and just like he did to me, he's going to take your head, put it between his legs, and pile drive you into the mat, and I don't care if the bell rings 5, 10, 20 times, he's going to keep doing it till you have to be carried out of there on a stretcher. And Mr. Lawler, I've offered this man a lot of money to do this, okay, because it's worth it to me. However, I don't care if I end up penniless. I don't care if I have to spend my life savings. I will see to it that you end up in the hospital for 1 week, Mr. Lawler. Do you understand me? I will see you.
Can you imagine if, like, I don't know, what's the guy's name? Tom Holland that played Spider-Man. Imagine if Tom Holland just cut a video on Instagram and was, like, saying that he was going to spend all of his money to send people after Roman Reigns. And he didn't care if he ended up penniless, that he was going to take out the bloodline.
In the ring, and I'll be in that man's corner just smiling so pretty, Mr. Lawler, okay? I'll be smiling, and you won't be able to get to me, because I will be protected by a...
You didn't really understand what Andy Kaufman was doing when you were a kid. Remember the Letterman thing and didn't know if it was real or fake, and then Lodka on Taxi. It wasn't until later that I realized, yeah. I just think it's such a unique thing that when anybody else tries to do anything even like close to it, like his name is always like comes up. I just think it's such a crazy. I don't know if any of you have like read the books, or there's a couple books about him, then there's a couple documentaries, but his life is just so it's really really strange. Like he was kind of a rotter, even though he was famous, which I admire. He liked to spend time like just wrestling in underwear with girls in hotel rooms and stuff like that. But he's just a really interesting guy, and I just think his art's amazing.
A man who's bigger and stronger than you. I'll just be standing in the corner and I'll be saying, remember last year, Mr. Lawler? Is that what got you so mad at me last year, Mr. Lawler? Well, I'm gonna keep doing it, Mr. Lawler. You stupid hick from Memphis, Tennessee. What are you, dumb hick? You're a dumb hick from Memphis, Tennessee. I am from Hollywood. I am a star, Mr. Lawler. I've got brains. I'll send you back to Memphis in a...
They worked the whole country. They really did. Like, this to me is like light years ahead of its time. Like, it's amazing.
Hospital where you belong.
And it works because everybody that's doing it is doing it because they love wrestling and they love the artistic possibilities of wrestling. Like, so when everybody's just firing on like all cylinders, you got a great wrestler booker like Lawler, and then I don't know who else was helping him book at the time, but then you got Andy Kaufman and Bob Zamuda, like all these people that are super invested in making it work. Like nobody's half-assing anything here.
You'll be carried out of the ring. I'll see to it, Mr. Lawler. You'll regret you ever heard the name Andy.
Like, imagine you're Tony Danza or Danny DeVito on Taxi, and you're hearing about your coworker that, first of all, comes to set dressed as someone else so many times per season contractually, where they know it's him, but they have to act like they don't know that it's him. So all this weird shit around Taxi anyway. And then he's down in Memphis yelling at this professional wrestler and cutting these bizarre promos.
Kaufman.
There he is, Andy Kaufman. And boy, I'll tell you got to wonder about that dude. But he'll be here. The match has been made, as a matter of fact.
Hardest thing to do in art sometimes be original. Yeah, especially on like nowadays where like YouTube's got just millions of creators. Like it's really hard even to find a niche where you can get a foothold, let alone like make a fresh path.
It's a handicap pile driver match, and Kaufman will have his special mystery partner, and we'll bring you up to date on it. We've got more action coming up here on Championship Wrestling. Be back in just a moment.
History of the Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler thing. And we mentioned the fact there was going to be a handicap match. Kaufman wouldn't come in by himself, but he wanted to bring a...
Did you see the guy look at the camera when he said handicap match? He was like, that's right, folks.
Buddy in. They did do that. That is to say, Kaufman and his partner, the Colossus of Death, went against Jerry the King Lawler. Let's take a look.
The Colossus of Death? That's such a wrestling thing, too, to have this, like, badass name, and it's probably just a generic person, like, under a mask.
The action.
Very stiff as he staggers around the ring. But he is moving straight in on Lawler, a foot to the midsection, and it hardly moves.
You attended Channel 5 wrestling as a kid. Still can't believe the energy in the building on a weekly basis. You were in attendance when Billy Joe Travis was arrested. Wow. Yeah, I think that would be amazing. I just think the studio wrestling was so cool, and the idea of like kind of the same basic crew coming to your town like every week or even every month is just so cool. Like by the time when I was a kid, wrestling was at the point where like maybe WWF would come around like maybe once a year, maybe twice if you were lucky.
The Colossus at all. Well, I'll say one thing. I don't know what kind of wrestler he is, but he's got a high resistance to pain. Oh, the crowd really ready for Andy tonight. They want him in that ring. They want Lawler's hand on him. And Lawler blasts him right in the chops. Doesn't even...
Can I do a court update? Yeah, for sure. So far the only real news is somebody posted the docket, and it looks like there's a lot of people, so it could be a while. I mean, I don't know how they're doing the order, but it looks like there's a lot of people in the 8:30 slot today.
Phasing.
Yeah, see, a cool name, Colossus of Death, terrible look, and just some random random person.
Lawler whirls the Colossus around, bangs him with a right hand, and the best he get is a stare and no movement. And there's Kaufman over on the ring edge apron, jumping up and down with his favorite monkey imitation. Lawler ducks out of the way. He's got a little thinking to do here.
What's up with this guy? What's up with the Colossus? Why is he so slow?
He knows he's going to have to get past this guy in order to get to Andy.
He's like the mummy from the 1930s, like just barely mobile.
That's the reason, of course, a stipulation was made. Kaufman would not come in for a match unless he could bring his own partner.
I also like that Kaufman is like a multimillionaire, but his wrestling outfit is just long underwear.
Andy had a lot of very unpleasant things and slurs to make about the South in general and Memphis in particular. And, of course, Lawler's hometown folks don't care for it one bit. Lawler whirls the Colossus around in the corner. And the King trying to pull him out, and he just holds onto the ropes. Andy, he's been listening to some of the tutoring from Jimmy Hart. He jumped down off the ring apron, and Lawler trying to get him to come up in the ring. There is no way. The Colossus.
Jimmy Hart was always tutoring people. I remember like in the 80s, Gorilla Monsoon would be like, you know, the fabulous Rougeau brothers have really had an attitude change since coming under the tutelage of one Jimmy Hart. And then Bobby Heenan would like insist he was just like slandering Jimmy Hart.
Of death. Lawler shoots up another left. Boy, he is really stinging at him. Kaufman hops down again to the concrete. He's not going to bout to be anywhere near Jerry Lawler when Lawler is about his senses, I can tell you that. Now into a standing side headlock. Saying squeeze him, and he lifted up on Lawler, bent him all the way back on the right foot. And Kaufman comes in, puts a foot in the back again of Lawler. I can't tell you it bothered Jerry much.
Look at all the blood stains all over the mat.
Kaufman really taking a thrill now as he, with both hands, slamming Lawler's head into the turnbuckle. He's saying it's me. He's wanting Lawler to know. from Andy Kaufman. Look at
Oh, is he gonna Hulk out and take his strap down?
here. Lawler staggered him that time.
Oh, yeah.
And down he goes. And the King drops with that big right hand.
Well, I didn't have to teabag him.
And he's beating the stew out of him. Uh-oh. Kaufman getting a little worried. Hart trying to keep him in the wrestling area. Lawler in the air. Suplex. Uh-oh. Jerry really coming off
I'm like marking out for this match.
with that big right hand. And the Colossus moved out of the way. Jerry pounded the canvas. I don't know. He could have hurt that hand bad. Colossus immediately up with a big easy suplex as he slams Lawler down. Guy is very strong. Comes over to the corner, tags Andy Kaufman. Now he's back in. He grabs Lawler, picks him up, and he's holding him. And Kaufman slapping him.
Oh.
That's got to be a worse indignity than it is anything else to Jerry. Oh, he banged him with that one. Woo, and as Lawler slips out of the way, he nails the Colossus.
Like, I'm legit invested in this. This is such good storytelling, and like the way this match is laid out is just, it's perfect.
Lawler's got him. Hart trying to get the big guy loose from the ropes. And look at Lawler going to work on him. He picks Andy up. He's going to suplex him.
See, and that looked like he was suplexing a guy that didn't want to be suplexed. Like, the way they approached all this stuff was just, it was exactly right.
He suplexed him down, and now...
Oh, dude, this crowd is going absolutely nuts. It's, Lawler took the strap down.
He rolls him over for the pile drive. Nope, a body slam.
Like, it looks like he's picking up it looks like he's body slamming a guy who is not trained to be body slammed, which is exactly what it should look like. That's, I'm really marking out for this.
Hart still trying to get the big guy out of the ropes where Lawler pinned him in. He's going for the suplex.
How are they having such a good match without hitting their finishers 8 times? Exactly, Anand. Like, I'm legit, like, this is a really good match, and I'm amazed, like, how it seems like it's so simple, but it's hardly ever nailed like this.
Lawler setting him up, and as he gets him in the air, the Colossus slams him in the back of the neck with a double-handed chop.
Man, fuck that Colossus.
Andy out on the floor on the concrete. Lawler goes for the pile driver. He gets it, and that's going to be the win.
Like, look at this crowd. This is insane. I can't even imagine how cool it would be to have gone every week. Like, for decades, you could do that.
You hear the crowd, in 20 minutes and 4 seconds, Lawler wins it. But they want him to get Andy Kaufman off the floor and pile drive him. Or maybe go ahead and pile drive him right on the concrete. And the big guy helping Andy out of there is Lawler in 20 minutes, 4 seconds is the winner.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, that excited.
I mean, to me, that was pro wrestling, like, in a nutshell. Like, that was such good storytelling. I was, like, really into it. That Colossus guy sucked, though.
A lot of people, too, except they really wanted them to get a hold of him.
See, if you've got a good story and you got good performers, you can even have, like, a complete stiff in the ring like that guy. So it's not even about, like, you can have, like, almost no work rate, but still, like, get that perfect pro wrestling energy.
Andy, but I got to tell you one thing. He did make an impression on Kaufman. He's not in town too often, and maybe it's better that way. We made it a point to get back and talk to Kaufman after it was all over with. Let's take a look at this.
We're in here. We're trying to get some...
People believe this stuff was real. It was dangerous after these shows. Lots of alcohol. Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, watching documentaries and listening to shoot interviews and stuff like that, some of the stories are crazy. In, like, the mid-2000s, I went down into different places in the South for, like, deathmatch wrestling that was pretty much only taking place in the South, and then I think CZW was still doing it maybe in the North, but there were, like, some people down there who absolutely either still believed it was real or wanted to so badly, but, like, they'd get physical with people pretty frequently.
Comments from Andy Kaufman after the match with Jerry the King. Jimmy, will you let me talk to him?
Fist, man. Look at this.
You're taller and hollering. I wanted to talk to him and find out if he has had enough of Jerry the King.
I haven't. This doesn't prove a thing, my friend. I don't have enough.
Look at that jaw. It doesn't prove it.
Oh, look at him selling. He's like saying his jaw's broken, so he's got to talk weird.
Oh, he had some brass knuckles in his fist, okay? He got lucky. Lawler got lucky. And let me tell you something, Lance, okay? I've got a lot of money, and I'm going to sue that guy. I'm going to get the top lawyers. I'm going to sue him. He has no right to do this to me. I've got a career to think about. I've got to put my face on television, nationwide television, not just small-time Memphis television.
It may be a little while.
Keno, perfect line. Perfect line. My face has got to be on national TV, not this rinky-dink Memphis shit. Perfect heel stuff. I saw some matches with Rock and Roll Express not too long ago. I remember no, I don't think they were at Ric Flair's last... Well, maybe they did end up being on there. Maybe that's where I saw him at, was his last match.
Before you do it now.
And I saw him wrestle the Briscoes somewhere. I don't know where that was at, though. That's been a while ago.
Now, with that jaw...
Yeah, well, I'll sue him for every little money that I missed.
Jerry Lawler, I'm coming. I'm coming for your Coca-Cola collection.
When I'm not working. Okay.
Watch yourself, Gerald.
And another thing, mister, is that... I kind of want...
Hey, Joe Shabatoni, how's it going?
I don't even talk. I don't even want to talk.
That's okay. Don't get, he hit him with something. He had something in his fist, man. That's what he. Look at the guy's jaw. It's broke, man.
And I haven't seen the last of me either, okay? I'm going to learn. I know how to do the pile driver. I couldn't pick him up this time, okay? So I'm going to have to work out a little more. And he got lucky. I was my fault. My knee went into the Colossus, okay? My knee is what put him in the ropes. If it wasn't for that, Lawler wouldn't have gotten to me, and Lawler would have lost this match, and Lawler would have been in the hospital. Next time, I will not make that mistake.
Next time.
That's right, next time.
I will come back. Tell me that
Mr.
you are
Russell,
crazy enough.
Mr. Russell, I have a lot of money. I make thousands. I make millions of dollars in Hollywood. Oh.
Listen, I'm going to sue you for everything you're worth. And in the meantime, let's get together and have another fight.
Oh.
Come on, let's try. Don't waste your time.
I am offering $5,000 to any wrestler that will put Lawler in the hospital. Any wrestler that will pile drive him, and I'll do it myself. I'll get a guy to do it myself. Russell, I'll be back. He hasn't seen the last of me, Russell. I will be back, Russell.
You may have seen the last of him talking on.
You have not seen the last of me, and I will make sure he hasn't been. And after a week in the hospital, when I put him in the hospital next time, after...
Did you see Lance Russell, like, rolling his eyes at the cameraman?
1 week of him lying in traction, then he's going to apologize to me for what he did last year. And another thing I want to say is, you fans who started booing and hissing me tonight, don't try that again. Don't try that again. I am a star, and next time I come here, I want you all to get down on your knees and bow down to me. And if I pass you by, kiss my feet. Come on,
yeah, okay.
You bunch of slimy hicks from...
This is so amazing. Like, this is just amazing to me. I think these are the most, like, so entertaining promos. Perfect for the storyline.
Memphis, Tennessee, you hicks. Go and plow the fields and the farms, you little hicks.
Just keep running your jaw and you'll have worse than you got right now. Andy,
is him telling the peasants to plow the fields, is that like the original put the fries in the bag, go plow the fields?
Okay, Andy Kaufman, the loser in the match with Jerry the King Lawler. It's coming out here for the first time live on our championship wrestling. Andy Kaufman is here for the first time.
Shut up or I leave.
Andy Kaufman. Okay, let's hold it down. Well, I told him, Andy, that's what they respect you. I can't do.
Like, imagine wrestling in your underwear in these like soap opera stories in these small southern towns, and there's someone who is so upset with you because you pulled Kerry Von Erich's hair last week that they're going to put a cigarette out on you or pull a weapon on you, like cut you, throw acid on you, like light your car on fire because of these outlandish storylines. Like, that's so crazy to me.
I am from Hollywood. I don't have to come slumming. I'm doing a local, yours is a local show. I only do network shows, okay? I don't do local shows. When I come out...
The energy is just, it's like 99% of the time nothing's going to happen. But there's like that 1% of chance that one of these fans is going to get out of pocket or something crazy is going to happen that just has a different energy.
Out here, I'm giving the fans a taste of stardom from Hollywood, and I don't have to put up with this, okay? You better tell them to shut up or I'll leave. I'll walk right out of here.
All right. Let's take a listen to what he's got to say.
Shut up with you fans, you bunch of hicks. You bunch of Memphis hicks. Why don't you go back to the farm and play on the field? You bunch of hicks. I am fed up with them. I'm fed up with Lawler. Let me tell you something. Lance. I am fed up. I wrestle with Lawler 4 times this week. Every time he thinks he's getting rid of me. He thinks he's seen the last of me. He's not seen the last of me. I'll keep coming back. If it takes some days, weeks, months, years, I'll come back until I see him in the hospital. I will never give up. And I'm raising the bounty from $5,000 to $10,000. That's how strong I feel about this.
Like, in my opinion, if you didn't know anything about Andy Kaufman and you were just watching this, I would think this guy had been in wrestling like his entire career. Like, I would never believe that this was someone who just dropped into this world one day out of nowhere and then just like put out this gold content.
$10,000 to any wrestler that could put Lawler in the hospital.
I noticed, speaking of hospitals, you're back in the brace again. You keep messing around with Lawler, you're going to get more than just hurt.
That's right. Well, it's not only Lawler I'm mad at. It's also that Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart talks me into doing this all this week. He says, oh, nothing's going to happen, Andy. Nothing's going to happen. Monday night, he gets me in the ring with Lawler. Monday night, we get in the ring. He runs out of the ring. He's chicken. He leaves me there alone. Then this has to happen. Last night.
He did do that.
2 nights ago, he tells me to go Kentucky. He gets me in Kentucky.
If you're keeping score, this is the second time Andy Kaufman has broken his neck during this angle.
Kentucky, Indiana. Every night he's saying, Andy, I have a plan. Every night something goes wrong. Hart doesn't know what he's talking about. I like to take on Hart. I'll tell you something. I'm going to take on Hart, and I know I'm going to beat that.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad strategy for Ben to wear a neck brace into court. I mean, it does give some, like, instant sympathy.
That's one guy I could beat, because I've beaten women that are tougher than him. And if he was here right now, I'd beat him. I'd beat him right now if he was here.
You will have your opportunity.
You talk me into this stuff. Wait a minute. I'm never going to trust you again.
I don't want to hear it. Let me tell you something, man. I've been listening to you run your mouth out here. Now, let me tell you what really happened, and you got the film to prove it, and the people over there know it.
Prove that you're chicken.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Let me talk. Now, listen to this. You came down here. You told me you...
You got to throw stuff at Abdullah the Butcher. That's awesome, Cheryl. I got to see him wrestle live, but by the time I saw him, like, I know he wasn't exactly like a real athletic to begin with, but at least he had some, like, a little bit of agility. By the time I saw him, he was like barely mobile, and he would just basically like stab people in the head with a weird spike and then just get counted out.
You had been working out in Hollywood, California. So I came down, I got you in the ring, and I said, I have got the master plan to beat him. And you said, okay, I'll listen. We got in the ring with Lawler. I told
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I'm 6'8", but you know, I'm vulnerable.
you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We would charge Jerry Lawler, as the film tells it.
Right.
We get ready. I charge over at him. I said, Kaufman, you hit him low, I'll hit him high. I get over there. Lawler likes to break my jaw. I look back at him, and he's picking his nose, man. He's over there picking your nose. Then
You run out of the ring and leave me there alone, and then he pile drives me. I listen to you. That's what I get for listening to you.
Wait a minute. Listen just a little bit more, if you don't mind, Mr. Hollywood. So I said, we'll count to 3 again. Maybe he didn't hear me. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, right? Okay, I go 1.
This is the original Grace Ruby Bridgeburn inspiration.
2, 3, I charge back again. Lawler likes to knock me in the middle of next week. I look back at Kaufman, and he's looking at his watch over there.
So the backwards, Hart, that's what happened to me. You run out of the ring, you count to 3, you say, go at him. I go at him, and he gets me in a pile driver, Hart. Come on, Hart.
Now listen.
Like, again, I keep saying it, but it's just so weird. It's like so surreal to me. This guy was on like one of the most popular shows on all of TV, and he's doing like a girl fight with Jimmy Hart, like in Memphis, on Memphis TV. This dude is epic.
Come on, Andy. Andy. No. Now, come on, Andy.
The sheriffs had to take him to the county line. I thought that was always an interesting concept of getting taken to the county line. Kaufman trying to put like Lance Russell in as a human shield.
Me in front of 355,000 people out here. Nobody stops me in my hometown. Stop me! Come on! Come on! Come on in the ring, Hart! Come in the ring, Hart! Come on, you chicken! You whip, go back to Memphis with you Memphis hick! Hart, you Memphis hick! Look, I'm from Hollywood. I don't have to take anything from the Memphis hick. Go back to the farm and plow the fields where you belong, Hart! You Memphis hick!
You're going to get your chance. Just save it.
Coat. And I will sue you.
He's right here. The Steve Wilkos guy is right here. He ain't moving.
I will sue Hart. I will sue Lawler. I will sue everybody. I'll sue you all.
Like you're just in this place with this tiny crowd, and here's the dude on the biggest sitcom on TV promising he's gonna sue you.
Save it. Come on. That's enough. Hey. I'll tell you what right now. Let's take a look. And you see what started.
I mean, that's Keno. That's amazing. Like, that's fantastic. He did everything right, even like the last second before he left, like one last leer back at the crowd.
Started all of this mess. Hart giving a pep talk to Andy Kaufman. Watch Hart.
And I guess the clip in between is wasn't available, but essentially that was all a ruse. And Jimmy Hart did that to lure in Jerry Lawler so that he and Andy Kaufman could best him, but it didn't work out, and now they're in like a handicap match with him.
And there they both go out of the ring and down to the floor. Their strategy did not work. Let's rush him. Hart went flying across the ring, and he got tricked that time. Lawler bangs him upside the head. And Andy says, "You okay?" Now they've got some more strategy. You go around that side. I'll sneak up on this side.
Exactly, super champion rocker. Oh yeah, it's just so, it's such a, like, it's just something I would have never, you'd never expect the big Hollywood guy to come here and have like the simplest look, and like there's no frills to this guy whatsoever. Like, until he's back in Hollywood doing the things. Like when he's here, he's like, there's not a lot of like flash to it, but it works. Somehow it still like makes you really dislike him.
We'll get him trapped in the corner. Lawler's just standing there. He's watching and waiting.
And Jimmy Hart has on like a Harley Quinn suit of some kind.
3 minutes in, once again, Kaufman couldn't get out of the blocks, and Jimmy Hart got caught again. Boom, and Lawler just puts him down on the deck. Lawler got a hold of Kaufman. Hart jumps on his back, puts something around his neck. Hart takes him down, choking him. Kaufman slaps him in the face. He's kicking on him. Referee trying to pull him off. Now it's Hart and Kaufman kicking Lawler.
You got to go in the back after. Your neighbor, who was the football coach, was locking up the gym and got his cousin Arnie. I love old Double A. Now, how old were you at this time?
Jimmy Hart holding the arms of Lawler while Andy.
You said it was like in the mid 70s. That would have been a like choice time for wrestling.
Kaufman slaps him. Now he is using his open hand. I'll give him that. I don't think he knows how to do.
Yeah, think about that. He's doing literally what's within the rules, right? Because you're not supposed to have a closed fist, so he's obeying the rules, but it's still like it still comes off as a heel.
Other than that, Kaufman couldn't hold that 234 up very long. Now I don't think Kaufman's going to be able to drop the.
You were 10. Who were like were there any like who were the like kind of like the anchor people who were normally there like regularly? You know what I mean? Like, were there any like top baby faces or heels that were like always around pretty much, like the regulars?
I'll drive him night. He said he would be able to. Kaufman giving the showboat stuff and the hot dog, and Hart saying, "You better get in here and get him." Oh boy, too late.
Uh-oh, took the strap down.
That's what Hart was telling Kaufman. Let's get out of here. Hart grabs Kaufman, throws him to Lawler. Now Lawler grabs Hart.
Oh shit, Tommy Wildfire Rich? Wow, that'd be a lot of fun. That guy is wild as hell.
Oh, Lawler going for a pile driver. He bounced it. That'll be a disqualification on Lawler. That's what put Kaufman in the hospital. 8 minutes, 6 seconds.
Oh, Eddie Gilbert, another great one. I think the first time I was around Eddie Gilbert, I saw him a little bit when he was in WCW, but I don't really remember that. I just kind of vaguely remember it. But was probably in when he was in ECW.
Look at Jimmy Hart. Hart, Kaufman, both. Pile drive. Here comes the Bruise Brothers. Pork chop and Dream Machine going after Lawler. They slam
Pork chop.
him down. Jimmy Hart's Bruise Brothers come in to help Kaufman and Hart. The referee pushed back out of the way, and here comes Austin Idol.
Oh, there we go, Austin Idol. I was wondering who was going to come out. Wouldn't it have been great if they could have somehow negotiated Danny DeVito to come out to help Jerry Lawler against his co-star? Could Jerry Lawler pile drive Danny DeVito? Is that physically possible?
Johnny on the spot to help Lawler out, and he wails chops in the Dream.
Oh, and I guess for a little bit of added context on that last match, Austin Idol and Jerry Lawler were like on again, off again, like huge rivals. So it kind of illustrates how much of a threat Andy Kaufman is to Memphis in kayfabe, because Austin Idol is willing to come out and help Jerry Lawler, if that makes sense.
Jimmy Hart really tearing into Andy Kaufman. Referee Thomas Marlin trying to get them separated. We had a little experience with that on television. Oh, here comes Sweet Daddy O. He grabs Kaufman.
This is a check. This is the check that I was offering to anyone who could put Jerry Lawler in the hospital. It's for $10,000. This is what I was going to offer any wrestler that...
So the bounty's slowly risen, which is another nice touch. We were at 5,000 last time. Now we're up to 10.
Put Jerry Lawler in the hospital is going to get $10,000. I am offering this check to Jerry Lawler if he will come out here and say that he will be my partner in a match against Jimmy Hart.
Yes. See, look at Andy Kaufman. He's being the bigger person. He's going to be willing to work with Jerry Lawler. He's certainly never conspired against Jerry Lawler before, right?
With all the things that you've said and tried to do to Lawler, I can't really think that you think he's going to go up and be your partner in the ring, Andy.
This is what the Taco Bell summit felt like to me. It was like, are they really? Is something really going to happen here?
That's past history. I said I learned my lesson. I was wrong.
Well, here's the king.
I was wrong. I'll let OPC take charge. He can pick out whatever clothes he wants.
Let's get out front here. Jerry, I assume you heard the conversation back here.
You know, I've seen so much from Andy Kaufman on television, just like.
Can we appreciate that Jerry Lawler's goatee is an exact replica of the like Rebel Alliance, the like Star Wars Rebel Alliance logo? I think that's the one it is.
Everybody else has. That this is a little hard to swallow, if I might just be quite frank with you.
Yeah, come on in here. He's not going to...
You're right. Mr. Lawler, Jerry, whatever. You're right. I've learned a lesson. I admit that I was wrong all this time. I'm sorry for everything that I've done. I just want a chance to get it the Hart without one of his goons coming out and getting on me. I want a chance to get him one-to-one. I know that with you in my corner, that won't happen. You'll be able to stop whoever he has. I want a chance. Now, I hate Hart. Okay, and I think you hate Hart too. Now, I want to just get a chance to do what I can to Hart.
Now that all sounds real good, but I also remember seeing you on television right here on this show saying, "I hate Lawler," and me, and all of that stuff. What is that right?
Remember?
That was only just talk. I was just running off at the mouth. I've been very obnoxious, and I'm sorry. If you'd please be in my...
Like, this is a genuinely great performance Andy Kaufman's putting on here. Like, this is really good.
Corner, I will gladly pay you this $10,000.
Let me just say this. Let me make a little proposition to you. I'll be your partner against Hart and whoever he brings. If you'll agree that that match will be the last time you step in a wrestling ring.
Uh-huh, yes.
Okay, that's good. Good stipulation.
I'll agree to that.
You heard the proposition now. You won't wrestle, not just here, anywhere.
Now, see, that to me was a really good way to get Jerry Lawler over that. How in the world could I ever trust this guy? Is that you're just like, well, I'm willing to put myself out there if it means I never have to see this guy again.
I will do anything to get you in my corner against Hart so I can beat Hart without any interference.
He promises never to wrestle again. That's enough for me. You keep your money. I'll go down to the ring with you. Can you add that? Can you get it? We'll get Eddie Marlin. You add the match,
We'll
okay?
take a break here and check with the end of the ring here in just a few minutes. I want to say I think most of you understand the differences that Kaufman and Lawler had. What is more stunning is that I think most of you agree with me. Could not imagine when Jerry Lawler agreed to go as a partner.
I don't know if it's still available or not. Well, it looks like some footage wasn't available, but clearly teaming up with Andy Kaufman didn't work out for Jerry Lawler.
With Andy Kaufman making all the promises right out here, then gets in the ring, and you'll have a chance to see what happens.
I love you, the new king of professional wrestling, Andy Kaufman.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Okay.
Oh, bubbling over today.
The new king of professional wrestling. King of wrestling. Thank you very much. Jerry Lawler, you're
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
somewhere in a hospital bed right now, aren't you? You're sitting there and you're suffering. Your neck is in traction. I promised you a year ago that I would get even with you. I promised. It took brains, not brawn. It took brains. The two greatest brains in professional wrestling and the two greatest brawn in professional wrestling. Jimmy, you told me the Assassins were the greatest tag team. You were right. We did it. We all did it ourselves. I was instrumental in putting you in a pile driver, Jerry Lawler. And now, you see, I was not lying. Oh, and now I would like to give something to the Assassins. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a check for $10,000 going for putting Jerry Lawler in the hospital. This goes to the Assassins. Thank you, guys.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I cannot imagine how in the world you ever conned him into going as your partner.
Let me tell you something. Jerry Lawler, you were talking about how stupid I was last
Lance Russell was right there when the idea was pitched. Why didn't he speak up? 2020 vision here from Lance Russell.
week. You fans and Jerry Lawler, you're a lot stupider than I thought. You believe me when I started talking about, oh, I was just playing like a bad guy. I was trying to be a good.
This is so fucking good. Like, I think this is just so amazing.
And you were stupid enough to believe that. Jerry Lawler, you're the stupid one, and I got the last laugh. And you fans, you bunch of mayhem idiots, you're so stupid.
They are stupid.
Hey, Jimmy, you know, I'm from Hollywood. You should be from Hollywood, too. How could you stand it down here? The mentality is so low.
You're right. It is low. It is low, baby. It is low.
So stupid, you people. You're so stupid.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It isn't all the way Andy Kaufman and Jimmy Hart.
Oh, it is. We pile
Let me tell you something. We pile drive them. And another thing.
You let these guys do everything.
I am the new king of wrestling. There's going to be some changes made around here.
Changes, baby. Changes.
You people are the dumbest. Lance, this section of the country is the filthiest. I think these people, they live like pigs. They don't know how to act. I am going to teach them some lessons in manners, etiquette, and...
Now, see, he's gonna... now that the king is gone and he's in charge, he's gonna help these people. He's gonna teach them etiquette and hygiene.
hygiene, Lance.
He can do it.
And there's going to be some changes made around here.
Look at the tape.
Show the film.
Oh, we'll
Show
show
the
it.
film.
All
Show
right,
the
let's
film.
roll it and take a look exactly what happened, not what they said. The assassin going after Lawler, and Lawler shoves him back into the corner.
Oh, cool. So it wasn't that they didn't have the footage. It's just that the footage was presented after, like it wasn't the first thing that we saw. He has a penguin from the Gotham series, Cadence How He Speaks. I haven't seen that show, unfortunately.
We're watching Kaufman. He dumped powder into his hand, it looked like. He's keeping it covered up now. Lawler. Comes with that right hand. Kaufman.
Like he didn't even, there was no like even attempt to sell like he was gonna cooperate with him.
Turns on Lawler and throws the powder right in Lawler's eyes, and Hart and Kaufman embrace. 2 minutes and 46 seconds. It's going to be a disqualification.
And as a fan, even though Jerry Lawler clearly is such an idiot in this storyline, like it kind of makes sense, because if you were talking with the person next to you, you'd be like, why in the world did he trust him? You'd be like, well, goddamn, he's been trying to get rid of this guy for, months and months now. This dude will not go away, so he had to at least try to get rid of him.
Both the assassins, all 600 pounds of them, Hart and Kaufman.
I've looked into American Gladiators, and it does seem like they have people have had some takedown issues like while the stream's open, but I think we could maybe get like a version of that from another country. You know what I mean? I think somebody's probably got some like obscure like international version we could try. But South to West, that's exactly like, yeah, that's definitely something I would want to show on here for sure.
All stomping away on Lawler. Going for another pile driver on Lawler, and they slam him hard into the canvas. Eddie Marlin comes out. Referee Paul Morton.
He fell for it because he's a hick from Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, pretty much.
And Idol grabs a chair. That'll clear things out. Yeah, well, you saw exactly what happened. They had a hand on each of the legs up there, and that's about the extent of how Andy Kaufman slammed and pile drive Jerry Lawler. I know it didn't make Jerry feel any better.
Oh, man, look at this. Beautiful storytelling. We've been making fun of Andy Kaufman this whole time, and the fans have been. And, goofing on him for wearing a neck brace from a pile driver, and now their hero is, in the same situation. It's a rough time to be a Jerry Lawler fan.
But it brings out exactly the truth of the matter of what happened. And to prove to you that he's not laying up in a hospital anywhere, here he is right now, Jerry the
Yeah, plow the fields, farm the farms.
King Lawler.
To see Kaufman out here with a crown on, first of all, is sickening.
Hey, this guy just broke my neck. This millionaire actor from Hollywood just broke my neck, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is how he shouldn't be wearing a crown.
Now, I'm sure that Kaufman and Hart and the assassins are in the back somewhere. Seen me here with this neck brace on after the pile drivers. Now, I'm sure that they're...
Grace should cut a promo on Ruby for wearing a Burger King crown in her videos.
They're laughing right now. Because you see, this is what Kaufman has wanted to see for over a year now. So Kaufman, you take a good look. I want you to look at it real hard. And Hart, I want to borrow a little statement that you use all the time. It's he who laughs last, laughs best, because I want to tell you something.
Oh no, what a turn.
I am not a stinking little pencil neck wimp like you.
What an absolute roller coaster. What an amazing this booking is just incredible. Like I fell for it, like live on stream. I fell for I thought he had really hurt his neck. Well, you know what I mean. In the storyline, I thought he'd hurt his neck.
You and Jimmy Hart and Andy Kaufman. You see, it takes more than a couple of bums like the assassin to put me in the hospital. I want you to roll a little piece of film. Wait a minute, I want to tell you something, Hart. I want you to take a good look at this piece of film. Roll it right now. I want you to take a look at this. There's been a lot of men come through here, brother, and they've done a lot of things to the king. There's been men bigger, as you can see right here, bigger and a lot better than your stinking assassin. And, brother, I've had it all done to me by each and every one of them. They've come from all corners of the...
They've come from all corners of the world to do everything to me, brother.
The world. Terry Funk, Kendo Nagasaki, Crusher Black...
That's the look right there, the white. And then whenever he'd get, like, would gig, it just, looked... That's, like, epic.
Well, Nick Bockwinkel, handsome Jimmy Valiant breaking bottles over my head. Joe LeDuc throwing me on the table. But let me tell you something, brother. I'm still here. Do you see that? I'm always going to be here. It's going to take more than you, Kaufman, and more than you, Hart, and more than your stinking assassins to do away with the king. Brother, he who laughs last, laughs best. And I promise you, I swear to God, I'm going to have the last laugh on you bums.
I mean, come on. Come on. How does this not, like... This should be archived in, like, the, whatever the, like, Library of Congress or something. This is incredible art. This is, like, what, 50 years old? 40 years old?
And also, Jerry is going to get some admirable help whenever he can.
What a promo.
And from Austin Idol. Let's hear what the Idol had to say about it.
I'm going to make it crystal clear. I'm going to make it very short and very simple and very plain. I didn't come here for no gaga, Jack. I didn't come here for no jive. I came here to do some butt.
I didn't come here for no gaga. I didn't come here for no jive. I came here to kick butt.
Kicking. Like everywhere I've been, that walk the face of the earth. Tell them a pack of lies, Jack, because that's what you're going to be feeding them. You know, while all the rest are in the back, laughing and joking, the king and the idol are up front cooking and smoking. This ain't no gaga and it ain't no jive. It's a known fact, Jack, that the Earth's surface is covered 2/3 by water, and the other third is covered.
Are you sure they own it, Cheryl? I don't think they do. I know there's a lot of... I know they've licensed the Andy Kaufman footage to use, but I know there's like a lot of legal issues around who owns the Memphis tapes. There's like a really good YouTube documentary about it.
By the king and the idol. Monday night, Jack, we're going to take it out on you. I'm going to take it out of your hide. Lawler's going to take it out of your hide. And if either one of us get our hands on your skinny little neck...
Because there's like Lawler, the Jarretts, and what's that guy's name now? Hale? Randy Hales. There's like a bunch of people that claim they have at least a partial ownership in the Memphis footage.
We're going to ring it. You're going to be 7'4". We're going to call you Kareem Abdul-Hart by the time we get through stretching your neck, Jack. Monday night. Ain't no jive.
198 pounds from Memphis, Tennessee. Tom, no, I beg your pardon. We got a substitution in.
Oh, if you're a Jim Cornette fan, it's kind of an interesting little thing. He was at a lot of these events. This was when he was just like super young and taking pictures ringside. But he's a big part of the Dark Side of the Ring. Was it? No, it was Tales from the Territories that did the Andy Kaufman episode. But yeah, he was running around during this time.
And there as Mike Mashburn's partner. That's right, Tom Maley was in an earlier match. They are going against, at a total of 590 pounds from parts unknown,
for their manager, Jimmy Hart, the Assassin. This match will be one fall, 10-minute time limit, and the referee is Jerry Calhoun.
Okay, we're about set and ready to go here. Calhoun says, ring it, here we go.
Underway.
What a treat for all the shut-ins and cripples at home. Once again, Jimmy Hart brings you a breath of fresh air with the World Tag Team Champions.
Bringing entertainment to the what? The something in crippled?
The World Tag Team Champion, Assassin.
Oh, shut-ins. For the shut-ins and cripples.
We're both in there for the moment. The Assassin. Oh, with a slam, and it drops with the elbow. Mike Mashburn.
The Assassins come out of the ring. Lawler got up behind Andy Kaufman, nailed him right in the face. Pandemonium. They're trying to hold Kaufman down on the floor.
Oh, no. Gone wrong.
Hart rushing out of here as the Assassins are holding Kaufman down. Lawler came flying in the door, walked deliberately right up.
Yeah, tapped Kaufman on the back. A 10 count on the Assassins by the referee. So David Johnson.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bo. When I was trying to, because I was showing Mid-South on here, and WWE let me keep part of the stream up, but then I can't live stream any more of them. So I was looking at like old school stuff that I could show, and it seemed like Memphis and Portland was probably about the best choices.
And Mike Mashburn are going to be the winners of the match.
A stunning win in that respect. David Johnson and Mike Mashburn getting a win when the Assassins are down with Kaufman on the floor. Hart went out. Here he comes back now, and Andy Kaufman streaming down there as the Assassins pick him up and head for the door. Well, okay, we'll try to get a report on that. We're loading up one side of the ring with Mantell, Eaton, Van Camp. We saw Jeff and his...
Oh, is this him? Is this the man himself? Is that Dutch? Dirty Dutch? I think it might be. He's got the hair. He's got the beard. He had that shit-colored singlet, and he looks like he's pretty hairy. That could be Dutch.
Very
for the door. There it was as Kaufman felt the fire as applied by the King.
People love seeing that. You love seeing it burn again, don't you?
Well, that was kind of a tease.
Let me tell you what, Lawler, you won't get by with this, baby. I promise you that. He will sue you for this, man. You know what? He won't even have a chance to take him to court. You know why? I'll tell you exactly the reason why. Because we're going to get rid of you, and I made Kaufman a promise myself. I made him a promise myself, baby, that the Assassins and Jimmy Hart will, once and for all, get rid of you and the universal heart slob, blob, or whatever you want to call him, baby. You're going to wind up exactly like him, Lawler, and that is a promise. You got a little piece of film. Roll that film, baby.
All right, well, let's take a look at that.
You people are...
Okay, Lawler, I know you're looking at me right now. I know you're watching. Well, you want to see something? Take a good look, Lawler. Take a good look at my face. See what you did? That's because of you, Lawler. See, you permanently disfigured me, Lawler. You understand? I don't think that's right, Lawler, and you're going to pay for what you did. You're going to pay really high, Lawler, because this is one of the most sought-after faces in Hollywood. I am a Hollywood star. I get scripts every day from big producers and directors. You see these scripts? You see this, Lawler? Look at this. Look at this. This is a script, a movie with Robert Redford, a movie with De Niro, a movie with Dustin Hoffman. There's a lot more. And I was offered these roles in these movies, and I can't take it now because of this, because of what you did to my face. My face is insured for $1 million.
They made most of it up as they went. Yeah, that's probably true. They probably knew, they knew where they wanted to end up at, and then they just kind of, went, improv'd to get there. It's why, and I mean, it would make sense too, because that's why it seems so like natural instead of like he's just reading off of a teleprompter or something.
Lawler, it's one of the most sought-after faces in Hollywood, and you may have permanently disfigured me. Do you understand that, Lawler? Well, I hope you're really proud of yourself. I hope you're really proud, Lawler. You know, up till now, everything that's happened between you and me has been in a wrestling ring. It's been in wrestling. You got me in a pile driver, I got you in a pile driver. Fair was fair, justice was justice. But you call this wrestling? You call yourself a wrestler? This is some carnival sideshow, Lawler. Throwing fire at me? It's not fair. You're gonna pay, Lawler. You know, I'd like nothing better than to get you in a wrestling ring. I'd love to choke you. I'd like to get my hands around your neck and just choke you like I did 2 weeks ago. I'd like to be able to stomp on you just like I did in the ring 2 weeks ago. I proved that I could do that to you. I'd love nothing better to get a chain match with you so that you can't run from me this time. I'd love to get a cage match with you so it's just you and me and nobody else, Lawler, so you can't run away like
I love this delusional level of confidence.
the coward that you are. So you can't run out and get your fire and try and throw fire at me, so you'd have to just get me with your wrestling ability alone. But Lawler, as much as
You snort a few lines, do some promos, get drunk, go to the bar. Yeah, pick up some rats.
I'd love to do this, I can't. And you know why? Because of you, Lawler. Because you made me sign a contract saying that I will never step into another wrestling ring again. So how can I step in the wrestling ring with you? Because, Lawler, I know what you would do. It's on a contract. It says, Andy Kaufman agrees never to step in a wrestling ring again. I signed that contract before our match last time. Remember, Lawler? And I know, knowing you, knowing the kind of man that you are, if you call yourself a man, I know that if I was to step in a wrestling ring, you'd sue me. Lawler, that's what kind of man you are. You'd sue me for all.
See, isn't this is just so masterful storytelling. Like, dude has been saying nonstop this entire time that he's going to sue everybody, and now that he has legal issues, he's like, what kind of a man would sue somebody?
I'm worth, and let me tell you something, I am worth a lot of money, and I don't...
Court's over for Ben, charges dismissed. Wow. South to West is going to be relieved about that.
I know that you'd sue me, and I don't want to lose my money, so therefore...
Thanks for the update, Rod. I appreciate it.
I have no choice. I can't step in the wrestling ring with you, Lawler. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We could get an absolutely, like... we could get a Keno Ben VC out of this one.
It breaks my heart, man, to see my friend like that. I promise you, Lawler, it's over, baby. I promise you this. Like I've always told you, he who laughs will laugh aloud.
Dude, and please somebody record it, because I'm staying on stream if they go in the VC, so please somebody record it if they go live, or if they go live in the VC, I mean. Hate to see the elephant dung-sized piles of coke that accompanied every Roddy Piper promo. You got to be feeling good, right, South to West?
And we will have the last laugh. I promise you that. Come on, Assassin.
We'll be back with more Championship Wrestling.
He did have a little bit of a vibe, like, for me anyway, but I didn't really know his backstory. I didn't know how long he'd been around or anything, but I always kind of wonder a lot of times when he starts getting into his, like, spurgouts and rants, like, how much of it is it real, or is he a troll, or is he just kind of, you know, having fun saying whatever?
Heart. You know what? Even these people can't spoil the greatest day of my life. You know, you're struggling out here, Dave. What's wrong with you, man? And you got something...
But it is kind of a fun, you know, feedback, content loop that's kind of similar to one you'd see in wrestling, where somebody's like, that's it, I'm done with this, I'm leaving forever, and leave, and then come back and immediately immediately turning on people. So there's the potential.
What is on your face there? My God. You know, would you like for me to help you do the co-host? You know, everybody thinks that Jimmy Hart gave Lance Russell a nervous breakdown, but I really didn't do it. That's not why he's in the hospital. But why don't you let me help you there? Would you like my help? You need it.
We'll just kind of struck.
Well, I mean, in reality, at this point, then, anything regarding the Sturbridge charges, does this also put to rest? Is this the last stop on the NCO thing, too? Like, is that all that business resolved now? So it's just divorce and child support that's left ahead? So, I mean, no matter how you feel on it, like, or how you feel about Ben or whatever, like, it's decided in a court of law. Oh, speaking of copyright, you know what? You were talking about how the music would be an issue. That's immediately what came into my head. I was like, oh no, of all things, like a 5-second clip of music is gonna throw this whole thing off.
Go along by ourselves.
Oh, you're going to go by yourself. Okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine with me. But you know what? This is the greatest day of my life, and I'm fixing to tell you why it's the greatest day of my life. I can't hardly talk, man. I'm so excited about today. You know, the old saying, united we stand, divided we fall, it's true. You know, when Jimmy Hart was against Andy Kaufman, and we fought back and forth, we couldn't get anything accomplished. But when we joined together, look what happened. Nothing but success. Well, I am busy. You know, I've got a million things going on. And I realized that
it's been nothing but success as a partnership. Okay, so there's the child support, the divorce, or what, I don't know, whatever that is. And then getting kicked out of battery class. Okay. So still some big, I think this one was, even though for some reason people built it up, and then I'm high, so I believed it. But I feel like this is like one of the like lesser cases, but at least it's out of the way.
maybe Jimmy Hart needs a little help in the first family, too. And I'm very excited today because, you know, I've called around a lot, and I've had a man that's been staying in contact with me, and I've had a few battles with him back and forth, but we
Courtney still has her paper. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Courtney stuff is the big stuff. So just so I understand, just so I'm perfect, because I'm high and I'm processing all this, is everything legally done with the kick? Like the NCO is completely out of the picture? Are there no more, aside from the battery classes, I guess, are connected, you know, like adjacent, but like everything involving the kick is done now, right? Because if it was going to reopen, it would reopen based off of what happened in Sturbridge, right?
He stayed in contact over a couple of months. He's been on a big fact-finding mission, looking for wrestlers and everything for me. And I'm going to bring him in today because I am going to unite him, the new vice president of the first family of professional wrestling. And I want you people to give him a nice round of applause. Jimmy Cornette. Beautiful, baby. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
This is the greatest day of my life, Jimmy. I love it. You know something just like...
Okay, I was just talking about Jim Cornette, and here he is. He's got the World of T-Shirts captain's hat on.
Jimmy Hart says, I've been on a nationwide talent search. You people...
The Sturbridge one is that could be their biggest payday.
See me on national TV from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been all across the country. Meanwhile, Jimmy Hart, my good friend, has been right here dominating the wrestling scene just like he always does. And now it's time for us to join forces. Jimmy, I am going to do as good a job for you as I've done all across the country. You people are going to see great things from the first family. From now on, new faces, new things, a united new first family, and I'm proud to be part of it,
The vice president, hadn't he got the confidence? Look at the new look, the black shirt, the white tie, not the old look that Jimmy Cornette had, right? This is a new day in your life, baby. Are you going to be behind it?
You're high, too. That's good. You hope there's a big money settlement for the Thorpes just for the shopping spree streams. Well, and also, like, you got to think of your buddy Mark Fusion. You know, Ben's promised to fully fund my studio. It's going to be, he calls it Naptown Studio, but I'm headquartered out of Naptown Studios. So just know that I could maybe start streaming in HD at that point.
Now, real quick here, baby. We've got a little tape on Andy Kaufman. You know, you people up there don't love Andy Kaufman like Jimmy Cornette and Jimmy Hart love Andy Kaufman. You know, the three greatest minds in professional wrestling. But
you guys remember that VC when Ben was like, he said he was going to build a, I think he said he was going to build a plantation of weed, and and then in the middle of that he was going to build Naptown Studios, and then right in the center of Naptown Studios was me. So that's a pretty good deal, living on a weed plantation. I mean, come on.
after they see this, I think they will grow to love the man. Roll that VCR, baby. Jimmy, good to have you back.
Oh my God, if they gave him a campground to run, that's it. That's how you rehabilitate the Thorpe image. They become, they start running an RV park. Oh yeah, the Streamer Hotel. Those were some wild, those brainstorming sessions were pretty wild.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andy Kaufman, as of course most of you know. I have a lot of unfinished business in the South. First and foremost in my mind is taking care of that dumb hillbilly, Jerry Lawler. I really want to take care of him. That's most important to me. But I'm going to put that on the back burner for now. And I want to talk to you people out there, you people who live down here in the South, in the good old South portion of the United States. Okay? I want to talk to you. And I want to help you, okay? I think, you know, for the past year or two, I've been coming down here and you and I have been having this feud. I come in the ring and you go boo and you don't like me and I don't like you. And I think now...
Streamer RV Park is actually a good idea if it could be run properly. I feel like you could it'd be perfect because you could kind of have a constant rotation of streamers there making their own content, and then you're making content off of all of them. But they could come and go before you got tired of somebody.
It's a time when we should be friends, and let's make peace with one another, okay? Peace? Okay? And I, Andy Kaufman, as my token of peace towards you, my token of friendship towards you, I would like to do a little something for you, just as a personal favor. You don't owe me anything back. This is out of the goodness of my heart. Every week, I'm going to be coming on here, on this station, and I'm going to give you little tips about how you can better your lives and how I can bring you up from the level that you're in right now and bring you up from the squalor that you're living in, the gutter and the garbage that your lives are. Okay? And this is my personal favor to you. Now, this week I'd like to start off, first and foremost, the most important thing is personal hygiene. Okay? Now, let's start off. This is a bar of soap. Now, does it look familiar to any of you?
His promo was probably cut in Hollywood and sent. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier. He would go there for one event and then go back, but send back enough footage that they could run a new clip each week to make people mad. This routine right now where he tries to better the Southerners, it got mimicked when Jim Cornette started Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but the person who was doing all of this stuff was Sunny. When she was first getting her start, she would try to tell the women there how to look nice and how to wear makeup and how to bathe.
I know that you probably don't know what this is. You haven't ever seen one of these before, but it is called soap. Matter of fact, if you're sitting at home now, you can maybe kind of repeat after me and say soap.
Soap.
Say soap. S-O-A-P. Soap.
Soap.
Not soap. Not soap. It's soap. Okay? Say it. Soap. Okay.
Jesus Christ, man. I bet these people were so pissed.
Now, I'm going to open it up, show you what it looks like. This particular bar is blue. Comes in all different kinds of colors, pink, yellow, white, blue, red. This is blue, okay? Now, the way you use it is you go to the sink, turn on the water, if you have a sink, that is, or if you have any kind of lake nearby or anything, just go wet yourself, wet your hands. Oh, and
if you happen to have a lake nearby.
I would like to mention the reason that I want to tell you about soap.
Oh no, Grace took a bath in the lake right before her skin broke out. She should have listened to Andy Kaufman.
I travel around the South, a lot of fans, a lot of wrestling fans, they recognize me from TV. They always put out their hands, they want to shake my hand.
And I'll tell you something, it disgusts me. The hands are so slimy. You people, your hands are so greasy and slimy. I mean, I don't want to shake them. You know, you ask me for an autograph, I'll sign you an autograph. But please, don't put out your hand and shake it until you can wash your hands. Now, this is what you do. Wet your hands, okay? Then wet the soap. Wash the soap, rub it on your hands, and rub it around, and your hands will get clean.
Sounds like good advice considering where Smoky Mountain Wrestling was. Yeah, that's definitely true. You grew up with Memphis Wrestling. It was a great time. Oh, I bet. I love the storylines. I love how committed everybody is.
Another thing is a shower. You turn on the water, wet your body, let the water wet your body, wet the soap, rub the soap all over your body till your body is clean. Okay? Then you rinse, and this is very important now. Don't come out of the shower with the soap still on. Very important, you got to rinse the soap off. Okay? You rinse it off, you dry with a towel, and you're clean as a whistle. And then you could shake my hand. Okay, now that's my tip for this week. This is about soap. I will see you next week with another tip. Okay? Bye.
Well, the personal hygiene tip from Andy Kaufman. We're going to be back. We will have Stagger Lee and Bobby Eaton and tag team.
Hey, Mongo Slade, the greatest rib of all time. I think it's definitely got to be up there in like one of the absolute best wrestling storylines of all time.
Action coming up. Stay with us. Time on it, 3 minutes, 57 seconds. Get ready. Last week, we had our first hygiene tip from Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman, I think, well known to all the wrestling fans in this area. We've got another tape from Andy Kaufman. Let's take a look at it right now.
Hi, everybody. This is Andy Kaufman again, and welcome to my tips to the people of the South. Again, this is my personal favor to you people of the South, giving you little tips on how to make your lives a little better. Now, you know, last week I taught you about soap, and this week I'd like to teach you a little something. Actually, this week I'd like to talk only to the ladies, okay?
Oh,
so
no.
you men, you could leave the room or, you know, get yourself a sandwich. Go.
Oh, no. This is going to be, this is going to really, I just know this is going to be something.
To the bathroom, or even, you know, go to the bathroom and don't forget to use your soap, okay? Now, you ladies out there, this is a razor, okay? Now, I know a lot of you probably have never seen one of these before, and I bet you the men haven't ever seen one of these before either, but it doesn't matter so much on them because hair doesn't really look too bad on a face. But hair looks terrible when it grows out of a woman's armpit or on a woman's leg. And let me tell you something, you ladies, I have been down traveling around the South. I see you in your shorts, and I see some of the hairiest legs. Where have you people been raised? Where are your parents? What were they doing when you were growing up? I'm telling you, you take a razor and you shave under the armpits and you shave up the leg like this, you see? And you ladies, you really need it, you ladies of the South. You really need to do that, okay? Because, you know, this other day I was in the ring and some lady lifted up her arm to ask me for an autograph. I looked down, all I saw was all this hair coming out of her arm like that. That's not very ladylike. You people should call your parents right now and say, Mommy and Daddy, where have you been? Where did you raise me? Why didn't you ever teach me about this razor? Mr. Kaufman there on television just taught me. Now, he's a nice guy. Why couldn't you teach me? You got to start learning to use a razor, ladies, okay? Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye.
I mean, come on. Classic.
Oh, bye.
Thanks very much, Andy. Well, we're going to be back. Six-man tag team action still to come. Stay with us.
Maybe I should play that kind of character on panels, like be a regular on Chaotic Truth and have that kind of vibe.
Lawler covers him, but there's no referee. Here comes Hart. And Lawler going after Hart. Steps aside as Ventura puts a knee into Hart's
Oh, there's Jesse the Body.
midsection, and Lawler follows up with a good solid right hand. See who's coming in. What is this? Jimmy Hart chicken suit. Hart runs up to the ring apron. The referee is pushed back in by whoever is in that chicken suit. And Lawler just lost the Southern Heavyweight title back to Jesse Ventura. Stan Hansen, big rugged guy, as a matter of fact, no question
Oh my God, Stan Hansen, what a beast.
about it. He's got a big rugged mouth too, but he's the TV champ, and it sounds like he's looking for a lot more than just that, David.
It does indeed, and as if that weren't enough. Got another one of these Andy Kaufman things, which are really
Let's
gotten out
get
of
it
hand
all
in life.
together in one segment here and take a listen to it now. And they
no Kaufman tape.
There is no. Here comes the king out here. We got a note there saying no Kaufman tape. Yes.
Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah,
the
that
Andy Kaufman interview?
Yes, right.
Well, let me just say one quick thing about Andy Kaufman. Now, it's no secret to anybody that Andy Kaufman doesn't like me. And I hate Andy Kaufman's stinking guts. But, you see, it really doesn't make any difference to me when Andy Kaufman comes out on television and he says that he hates Jerry Lawler, or what he wants to do to Jerry Lawler, or what he thinks of Jerry Lawler. That's fine when he's talking to me, because you see, I know that somewhere, sometime down the line, I'm going to have an opportunity to get my hands around that scrawny little neck of his and squeeze it until his eyeballs pop out. But what does make a difference, and what I don't think is exactly right, is when Andy Kaufman, sitting out in California or Hollywood or wherever he sends these in from, when Andy Kaufman thinks that he can come on television and talk to the people who are sitting out there right now, talk to you people and to these people right here, and downgrade the South and downgrade the women and talk about the way the people live down here, you see...
He's going to be like, listen, folks, Andy Kaufman isn't after me. He's after you. But I'm what's between him and you.
These people don't have an opportunity, and you people that are watching right now, they don't ever have an opportunity to retaliate against Andy Kaufman. So what I told the director back there was, if you're going to show another Andy Kaufman tape, then me and Austin Idol aren't going to wrestle here today. Because I don't think that Andy Kaufman should have the opportunity to say the things that are on this tape and say the things that he said last week without the people here in the South having an opportunity to answer him back. So when I told the director that we weren't going to wrestle if he showed this tape, he figured, and I think rightly so, that the next match was a little bit more important than the Andy Kaufman interview, so we don't have to listen to Andy Kaufman anymore. Now, if he's got something that he wants to say to me, that's fine, Andy Kaufman. Come on down to Memphis. Come on down to the South, because we're proud of the South, brother. We love it. And you can come on down here anytime you want to, because, like I said, my hands are just waiting to get around that scrawny little neck of yours. And so, Andy Kaufman, here's what I think of your interview.
So much for a slightly used Andy Kaufman tape.
Mods timeout Andy Kaufman, yeah. Like, that's a great, like, that's what an actual person in that situation would do, right? Like, why would you continue to put this guy's tapes on the air? Like, that's great storytelling.
Well, that's what we were going to show anyhow, Dave. I'm all for that. All right. Now, that's the most pleasant way to handle an Andy Kaufman interview I believe I've ever run across. And having disposed of that in the way that the King did, let's get on to action right now. We've got a six-man tag.
But I do want to take just a minute of time here to talk about, as you say, another announcement. This is something that happened to me this week, and it's totally...
Yeah, I mean, it's the attention to detail, and, like, I can't imagine how much fun it would be, like, the anticipation if you were going live or even watching it on TV, like, week to week, waiting to see, like, what was going to happen next. Like, these are, like, really good cliffhangers.
removed from what is going on today, or it really doesn't have anything to do with the matches or anything like that. It's just that, well, it was Thursday that I found out about it, and I talked to you before the show a little bit. After all of the stuff that went on in the past, over the past year, a little more than a year, I had thought that this was all settled and all forgotten and everything was over with. But I find out Thursday, I get some correspondence from Lawler, that I'm finally being sued by Andy Kaufman.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my response exactly. You know, I get this, and after everything that transpired, he came in here, he tried to wrestle, he got slapped on the David Letterman show, and all of this stuff. I expected a lawsuit then, but apparently.
Okay, so we're picking it up after they went on David Letterman and Jerry Lawler slapped Andy Kaufman in the face and like knocked him over the sofa or over the chair and shit.
Apparently, he was really upset over the fact that he sent in these so-called little helpful hints for all the people here in the Mid-South and in Memphis, telling everybody how to improve their lives and their personal hygiene habits and that sort of thing. And as you remember, I came out and smashed his tape.
Oh, you think he forgot to send a tape in? If they did, I mean, that was really good, like a really good way to like cover up for it.
And I believe that's what that was maybe the straw that broke the camel's back. So anyway, it's just for what it's worth, I just want to let everybody know, because I don't know if it'll be in the papers or whatever. But anyway, I am being sued by Andy Kaufman. All I want to do is, if somebody can get the word Andy Kaufman, we got some great attorneys right here in Memphis, and I would rather handle it another way, but if that's the way he wants to do it in the courts or whatever, I got a man named Ralph Holt that can do a number on any of his Hollywood attorneys. So if it's going to be in court, if I have to fight Andy Kaufman, then that's the way it's going to be.
Listen, I got this guy I went to school with, Randy Holt. He's got this.
And I just want to let you know about it.
Jerry.
No big deal,
well, we appreciate your letting us know about it right here first. We do have an interview from Kaufman that I want to show, and then maybe we can get in touch with him here.
I don't want to see it.
Okay. I can understand, Jerry.
See, even like that, perfect. They're like, hey, we've got something to show you from Andy Kaufman. I don't want to see it. Perfect.
But as Jerry said, he smashed the tape after all those hygiene tips that Kaufman had, and here's a.
Was it getting national coverage at all? Like a little bit. You wouldn't have known what was going on in Memphis wrestling like from day to day unless you subscribed. I think Cornette said there was at least like a couple newsletters around at the time, but Memphis wasn't getting a lot of coverage, so it was pretty much limited to those people, and except that like some larger media went down for some of the Andy Kaufman shows. But I think it was built up a little bit, and then they did the thing on David Letterman, and I think that was like the apex of it as far as like being a national story.
An interview that Kaufman recorded. Let's take a look at it.
I just want to say I've gotten some.
Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but in a couple of the documentaries about Andy Kaufman, supposedly he approached Vince Sr., Vince McMahon's dad, about doing this in WWF at the time, and they refused him because they thought it was too gimmicky or whatever.
The manager of the station has told me that some of you.
And like, it is a great concept. It's an unbelievable concept. I mean, we're seeing all this great storytelling, but would it have worked as well with like a New York crowd? Like, I don't think so. I think you needed this to be in Memphis for it to work this way. You needed to have a guy like Jerry Lawler that meant as much to that specific town. I don't know if Bruno Sammartino coming back would have done it or not. Like, even in the 80s, when I was a kid, unless you subscribed to, like, PWI or something, there was really no way to know what was going on in like, WCW where I was at. All I could see was, like, we get a little bit of Windy City wrestling every once in a while, but it was just typically the only stuff I ever saw was WWF.
Have been giving him some complaints about my helpful hints. He has received complaints about my helpful hints.
I think the New York fans would have reacted differently to it. I don't think they would have bought it. And you kind of need the crowd to buy it, I think, with a storyline like this.
Let me tell you something, people. Okay? I don't have to be doing this. I could be out making movies, TV shows, radio, Broadway plays. I could be doing so many things, and I have chosen to spend this time, my valuable time, in making these little lessons for you. And this is to help you, okay? Now, I've bought this time with my own money. I've taken money out of my pocket. I could be out making money, but I've taken the money out of my pocket so that I could buy time on this program, and I can help you. This is just a...
See, that's another little touch. Why are they putting, like, if you're a fan, you're like, you know what, this guy sucks. Lawler stopped talking to him. They're not showing his videos anymore. Why is this guy being allowed to speak? Well, we can't stop him, folks, because he's buying advertising through the TV station. Like, it's such a little thing, but, like, it really enhances the storytelling to me anyway.
To help you, and you don't even appreciate it. Just goes to show you, try and do something nice for people and they don't even appreciate it. It's just a shame that a few of you have to spoil it for the lot.
All right, and on the phone with me right now, after you have just heard his comments about the tape tips that he sent in, is Andy Kaufman. Andy, are you there and can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Jerry Lawler has just been out a few moments ago, and he tells us that he received correspondence from some of your attorneys last Thursday.
That's right.
And you're suing him. Now, why now?
That is right. Look, I
Andy Kaufman participating via Discord VC.
spent a lot of time and money on those tapes, and I don't appreciate him taking them away. Let me just tell you something, Dave. Okay? This all started a long, long time ago. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about a couple of years ago, and my lawyers and my manager, they all told me that I should sue the guy, okay? They said, Andy, you have such a good case. He went in the ring, he pushed you around. I'm talking about way when I first came down there, okay? Now, I said, I don't want to sue him. I want to be a man about this. I want to be a gentleman about it, okay? So I don't want to sue. I want to handle it like a man. I want to handle it myself. So I went down there, and I agreed to wrestle him, okay? We went in the Coliseum, we wrestled, and what do I know? I could have handled him. I could have handled him great. I could have beat the guy to a pulp. But he used an illegal hold on me and pile drove me into the canvas, and he hurt my neck, okay? Now, he used that illegal hold. I was the winner of the match.
Oh, my God. He used illegal holds.
Because he was disqualified because it was an illegal hold, okay? Well, what do I know? A few months later, we're on the David Letterman show. Not only did he hurt...
The original Dalmatian, yeah, we were talking about that, but it really comes across in this because of, like, the quality of the recording and, like, how he's kind of, like, barking, no pun intended.
My neck in the ring, but on the David Letterman show, the man slapped me across the face, okay, in front of millions of my fans, humiliating me. All right? Now, not only does he do that, but then a few months ago I'm down there and the man throws fire at my face and he disfigured me. He burned me. Okay, now, I couldn't do any of my movies. I was supposed to do a lot of big movies, okay? And I couldn't do any of them because he threw...
What's this guy? He threw fire in my face. You know, they're throwing fire in my face. They're telling me to swipe it, boy. Bossing me around. You know, these people are idiots.
Fire at my face. Why do you think Taxi was canceled? Why do you think Taxi was canceled?
Well, why was it?
It was canceled because I couldn't show up because my face is burned. I couldn't show up, so I'm the star of the show. They can't do the show without me. They had to cancel the show. Okay?
All right, Andy.
Now, look.
Now he's blaming the cancellation of Taxi on Jerry the King Lawler.
Then I made these series of tapes for the people of Memphis. That was my favor to the people of Memphis. I was going to teach them a little lessons in etiquette and hygiene, okay? And then I spent a lot of money and time on those tapes, a lot of my precious time. My time is worth a lot of money, my friend, okay? And I spent a lot of my money on those tapes. And I made those tapes, and I bought commercials.
Who's the person that always tells them that their time is valuable? But then OPC Don, yeah. Listen, I could be working on one of my many successful channels. I could be, I could be collabing with the Process. I could be out helping the framers. I could be pouring a concrete slab, but I'm here.
Time to show those tapes. And what do I find? Lawler stops the tapes. He stops the tapes. Okay, he had no business stopping those tapes. And I'm so mad, I called my friend. I'm good friends with Muhammad Ali, okay? I called Muhammad Ali, and he took me into the gym.
If I had to guess on Dalmatian, I would say that it's mostly real, but that, like, the freedom of the internet and the freedom of the environment on Thorpe TV he probably feels comfortable enough to really dial up his like rhetoric and his attitude just for maybe. It seems like the wilder he gets, like the more fun he's having, I think, anyway.
Started working out with me. He taught me how to box. This Lawler might think he's such a great wrestler, but when it comes to boxing, I learned the game that Lawler has no knowledge about, and that is boxing. And I learned from the great champion Muhammad Ali. So I learned how to box, and I have a mean right hook. Let me tell you. I called up Eddie Marlin.
Okay, so now he's gonna box Jerry Lawler.
And I said, Eddie, let me come down there and box Lawler, and I'll punch his lights out. I'll punch him to a pulp. And Eddie said, no, Andy, see, you signed an agreement that said you could never step in another wrestling ring again.
That's right.
So if you come down here, Lawler's going to sue you. So he said I couldn't come down. So what
Yeah, he said he couldn't step into a wrestling ring.
choice do I have? What choice do I have? I've got to sue the guy. If I'm not allowed to come down there and fight him, I'd love to punch his lights out. But I have no choice. He'll sue me. So I'm suing him back. I'm just going to have to take him in court.
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying, Andy, and I guess I understand your logic. Here is Jerry Lawler. I'm going to let you talk to Jerry Lawler right now.
No.
Don't hang up, Kaufman.
Let me tell you something else. Dave?
What happened here? Oh, there.
Let me tell you something, Kaufman. You're running your big mouth. Let me tell you something, you little stinking, slimy wimp. That's all you are. And you stand out here, you're going to try to tell the people that you called Eddie Marlin and you asked to come down here and get back in the ring with me, and he refused. That is nothing but a low-life lie. Anytime you want to come back to Memphis, anytime I can get my hands around your stinking little skinny neck, I would love it. So if you want to just, if you want to come back, and he's trying to tell somebody that Muhammad Ali taught you to box, the only thing you could box would be apples and oranges. If you want to come back to this ring, if you want to come back to Memphis, come on, brother. The welcome mat is out because I would love to get my hands around your little pencil neck.
Let me tell you something. A few weeks ago, I was in Memphis. You didn't know it, did you? Hello? Hello, you know what?
What are you talking about?
Hey, you remember Hart's Chicken? Hey, baby, you remember that Hart's Chicken? I was just first.
Remember, that's what Mel Gibson would do. Remember in the tapes when we listened to when he would call his ex-wife, he would like go on some big rant, and then before he could even give like a pause for the other person to listen, he would be like, "Hello, hello."
As hard as a chicken, man. I stopped you from winning the Southern title. You idiot. You stupid. You're stupider than I thought.
You're telling me that was you in the
That was me in the chicken outfit, Lawler. You haven't seen the last of me, Lawler.
Well, let me tell you something. You should stay in that outfit because that's exactly what you are, nothing but a lousy chicken. If you want to come back here, Kaufman, as I said, the welcome mat is out, brother. You're welcome anytime because I'd like nothing more than to get my hands on you, you stinking wimp. That's all.
Me, man.
I think he was. You said he looked like he couldn't keep up the Dalmatian dog persona IRL. That's why you think he's playing it up. Yeah, I agree. I think too he was really intimidated by Grace, and he was like starstruck by Ben because he's like such a huge Ben fan.
Come down there, the kind of guy you are, you'd sue me. You'd sue me for everything I got. So I can't do that, see? So I'll have to see you in court. There's only going to be one match, and that's going to be between your lawyer and mine.
Andy, he's the Lawler is gone. He has walked out of here, and you heard him say...
What a wimp, what a chicken, what a slimy Memphis hick. He's nothing but a Memphis hick. He should go back and plow the fields and the farms. But let me tell you something, there's going to be a lawsuit. When I'm through with him, he's going to lose everything he ever owned.
Andy, you heard him say you're welcome back here anytime.
There's only going to be one match, pal. No, I can't go back there because I signed a paper, see? He won't let me. He'll sue me if I come back there. But let me tell you, if I was to come back there, I'd box his lights out because I've been trained by the great Muhammad Ali, and I know how to do it. I'll knock him out! I'll knock him out! Even Memphis Hick! The Memphis Hick!
Andy, all I can do is repeat what he said. He said he'd love to get you back here in the ring.
Yeah, well, that'll be fine. I'd love to get him back, but I'm not going to come back because I don't want to get myself sued, so I'll just see him in court, pal. I will see him in court, and you'll tell you, and the sheriff, and I'm a fat sheriff, and
Epic, epic, epic. This would be such a good VC.
All right, Andy, we're gonna have to take a break. Let's take a break right now.
Then
we are going to have a handicap match that I just don't see how you can hardly pass it up. This is a combination wrestling and boxing match, a handicap match where Jerry the King Lawler will be in against Jimmy Hart, and Andy Kaufman will be his partner. Now, in this match, Hart will be wrestling, and Kaufman has a new career as a boxer.
I mean, you can't really ask for much more from a spur gout than that. I mean, that was pretty phenomenal.
So it'll be a combination. Yeah, that's it. We're going to be talking to Andy here in a little bit. It'll be a big combination match coming up Monday night when Lawler goes against Hart, and Kaufman. Get your tickets today, and we're looking forward to all of the action that will be taking place in there.
Well, that's great. If you made the phone call yet, I gave you the number. Come on, let's talk to Andy Kaufman. Come on, baby.
All righty, let me get over here and see if Andy, this is Lance Russell with Championship Wrestling. Are you there, Jimmy?
I am here and ready to go. Let me tell you, I have been training with the great Muhammad Ali. I am learning all kinds of things. I've learned the left hook, the right hook. I got the right cross, the uppercut, the jab, and I could dance. Let me tell you, my footwork is great. Muhammad Ali has taught me everything that he knows. He even threatened to come down with me, but his busy schedule wouldn't permit him to, so he won't be able to make it. But let me tell you something.
Listen, I promise he said he wanted to be here. It was a scheduling issue.
I am going to knock that Lawler out. I'm going to punch his face. I'm going to punch his lights out. And he's going to not like lying down there when that referee is counting to 10. You know, let me tell you something. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, are you listening to me?
He's not going to like it when he's laying down.
Oh, I can't do anything else.
Are you listening to me, Mr. Russell? Are you listening to me? Let me tell you something. I am a star. You better listen to me. Let me tell you something, Mr. Russell. Muhammad Ali has taught me many, many great things now.
This is such a schizo rant.
And I have in the past slapped Lawler's face. Lawler thought he was pretty cool slapping me in the David Letterman.
I'm going to lose it. Lawler thought he was pretty cool. This is an unhinged phone call.
But I got him back many, many times since then. I've slapped his face, but I've had to use an open hand because, of course, you know, I like to play by the rules.
Oh, yeah.
And so I use an open hand when I was slapping him in the face. But now I'm going to be legally able to punch him with a closed fist, and I'm going to knock his lights out. Let me tell you, Mr. Russell, I am so happy. I am overjoyed. I'm so excited. I'm going to punch Jerry Lawler's lights out. It will be the ultimate embarrassment for him.
I want to find out if you're going to be that enthusiastic when Monday night comes. Listen, here is Jimmy Hart, Andy, so I know he's going to be your partner, not Muhammad Ali.
Andy!
Hello.
It's great hearing from you. Man, listen, I am so excited about this. You know, I know your burn is healed up now. Listen, you know, Lawler was out here talking about he's dropped out of the top 10 rankings, right? Well, I promise you this. When we get through with him Monday night, he won't even be in the magazine, will he, baby?
That's right. That's right. And he's going to have the ultimate humility because he's going to be lying down there flat on his back, knocked out by you and me.
Well, listen, Andy, I know you can't see this now, but I just want you to take your time, be careful coming down here, because I don't want anything to happen to you, because I promise you it will be the greatest night of our lives. Well, I've got
I know that, and you know what, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Jimmy, I got the greatest left hook. Muhammad taught me this great left hook. I'm going to be able to knock that guy out. knock him out.
Well, let me tell you what we've got here. I know you won't be able to see it, but for all the people over here in the audience, I want you to see a couple pieces of film that I brought here of Jimmy Hart and Andy Kaufman together, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Dundee grabs him by the waist while Lawler turns Bockwinkel over. He's got him. But the referee trying to get Hart back from the ropes, and Lawler still got him covered. He can't get a pin. Lawler goes over and blasts Hart loose. What is this? Here is Jimmy Hart on here. Andy Kaufman. Lawler covers him, but there's...
Sorry, I had to get some more weed. If Dalmatian was playing... You mean if he was in character when he met up with him IRL? Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty epic. Mouth of the South. Oh, yeah. Recently proposed the deal to try to save the Mid-South Coliseum from demolition. I mean, it's a pretty historic building, not just for wrestling. I'm sure other stuff happened there, too.
There's no referee.
You think like some famous concerts, maybe, or something.
Here comes Hart. And Lawler going after Hart. Steps aside as Ventura puts a knee into Hart's midsection, and Lawler follows up with a good solid right hand. See who's coming in. What is this?
Like, I get that that people that didn't experience some of these places might not have an appreciation for why they like really are part of history. But like when I went, I didn't get to go to see like ECW at ECW Arena, but I saw some indie shows there, and like it had like just a super special feeling, like knowing like everything. It was just super, like everything just seemed better in there, you know.
Jimmy Hart.
And what I saw in there was pretty bad. So for it to be palatable, that had to be some aura from the arena.
Not in the chicken suit.
Yeah, that's Jesse Ventura.
Hart runs up to the ring apron. The referee is pushed back in by whoever is in that chicken suit. And Lawler just lost the Southern Heavyweight title back to Jesse Ventura.
Jimmy, you'd think that Lawler would learn the first time, but we just duped him a second time. We can just keep doing the same thing. He's so stupid, he'll never learn.
Well, you know what, Lawler? Like I said, baby, that's why you're not the World Heavyweight Champion, because of Jimmy Hart.
And that's a great heel line, because obviously they don't like the fact that he's winning, but it's like extra stings because it's true. Like Jerry Lawler does keep falling for these pranks over and over again.
Hart and Andy Kaufman, and that's why you're not the Southern Heavyweight Champion, and that's why you're not in the magazines anymore, because of Jimmy Hart and Andy Kaufman. We are ready, Lawler, and I promise you, you ain't seen nothing yet, right, Andy?
That's right, we're going to destroy your career, Jerry Lawler.
We are going to be interested to see what kind of a boxer Andy Kaufman is, even with the tutelage of Muhammad Ali.
That's right. I'm a great boxer now. I'm a great boxer.
Oh, okay.
Lawler thinks he could do so much harm by wrestling, but now he's going to have to contend with the iron fists of Andy Kaufman.
Okay, well, we'll see Monday night.
Bye, Andy. See you Monday, Andy. Be careful, baby. I'm ready.
Jimmy Hart. Okay. Bye-bye, Andy.
Bye-bye.
Let me tell you something, Lawler. You ain't...
Your uncle used to take you to Monday Night Wrestling at the Coliseum in the late 70s. Oh, man. Late 70s, early 80s. That'd be a great era. Wrestlers were more happy to take pictures and talk to people after the show. Yeah, I think like a weekly venue just would have been so cool.
Ain't seen nothing yet. Like I said before, baby, I promise you this. It's the last thing.
Jerry Lawler came in the studio. And Jimmy Hart disappears. He still holds the world's record for running around a ring. Well,
or like it'd be really cool too to be in that era where like you would only see the NWA champion like one time a year, maybe like once or twice would come to your town. That would be a really cool night too.
There went half of your opposition right there. Hart will be wrestling.
That's right, half of it. You said that exactly right, half. He's about half a man. You could put Hart and Kaufman together and you wouldn't have a good man. Let me tell you something, Hart. You don't tell me nothing. You and Kaufman both. I am itching for this, brother. You're right. You cost me the world title and the Southern title, and I'm going to take it both out on your butts Monday night. You and Kaufman both, brother. You're in for the beating of your stinking lives.
Get this now. Jerry's going to be in a handicap match. Kaufman will have gloves.
Jerry's breaking under the pressure. He's getting more angry. He's getting more violent and aggressive.
On. He'll be boxing, and Hart will be wrestling, and Lawler is looking forward to it, and so am I, my friend. We'll be looking forward to seeing you down there with us at the Coliseum. Right now, let's take time out, and we've got some more action coming up for you, and we'll be back to it in just 1 minute.
You, my friend, will respect the Hollywood star.
Whoa, we've been waiting on this one. Unusual boxing wrestling match. Jerry Lawler facing two opponents, both permitted to be in the ring at the same time. Jimmy Hart, who will be wrestling, and television and movie star Andy Kaufman as Hart's partner.
Lawler, I am going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I have been trained by the great Muhammad Ali. You don't know what you're up against. You're so cocky now. You think you're big stuff, big stuff. You haven't seen anything until you bit the iron fist of Andy Kaufman. You think I'm just a little man.
Yeah, that's another thing that would just be neat, is that like they were when you were in a territory, like you lived in the community, your kids went to school there, like you were real people, which just you weren't like celebrities going to like all these exclusive, places and stuff. Like the lifestyle was different.
And wait till you see I have been training, man. I have been training. You will learn to respect the Hollywood star. I'm going to knock you out to the count of 10, and you're going to meet the ultimate humiliation. And there's no pile driver. That's against the rules.
Andy Kaufman with a little dissertation. And boy, you can see the look on the fans' face.
You better teach these fans some respect, Mr. Russell, or else I'm going to walk right out of here.
Mr. Kaufman, I would have to draw to your attention that respect is something that is earned. Andy Kaufman did his chicken act in the ring once too often with Lawler. And Lawler put him out of the chicken act business, boy, I'll tell you. He rattled him, put him in the...
He's from a place called Nutbush. No wonder he was into puppies. Went to Treadwell High. Yeah, he always has stayed kind of rooted there, I think. He still lives there, doesn't he? Like his main residence?
Hospital when he started doing that monkey routine.
On Jerry Lawler, I saw a cameo he did one time, which cameo is like where you pay a celebrity or influencer so much to record a video for you. Normally you're lucky if they're like 30 seconds or a couple minutes long. Somebody paid for a Jerry Lawler one for like a kid, like a little kid, and he did a full tour of his house. It went like on and on and on, and he showed like all of his wrestling memorabilia. It was like the most in-depth house tour, and he did it for like a cameo. I thought that was so wild.
Okay. Hart gets one leg through. Kaufman didn't even get a leg through. Lawler started...
That's the downside with you talking about Lance Russell passing away. That's like one of the big downsides to watching the nostalgic stuff, is it like you remember how many people are gone.
Over there. And now they're saying, keep him back until we both get in. Okay, Kaufman through the ropes, and I believe we are ready. Andy must deck Lawler for a 10 count. He says he has the guns to do it. Hart has to pin Lawler for a 3 count. And he says a lot of things. Lawler has to...
Okay, wouldn't it make the most sense for Andy Kaufman to knock him out and then Jimmy Hart get the pin for 3 instead of just waiting for the count?
Pin one of them. Lawler said, hey, come on out. Take your best shot. Kaufman with his boxing gloves on. He's dancing around, and I can tell you this. is, as he claims, that Muhammad Ali was his teacher.
Jimmy Hart also went to Treadwell, was a few years older. Yeah, everybody knows because of his music. Yeah, speaking of that Jerry Lawler cameo where he showed all of his stuff, he had like all of the original records of the Gentrys and stuff. And I remember Cornette's house tour, you could see those too. He had all those.
Then Muhammad happened to be having a nightmare or something on that given day, because he would be rather disappointed in his pupil if he saw him the way he acts. Andy Kaufman, Jimmy Hart. And this match is a no disqualification match. That's something Lawler insisted on. If they were going to have both men in the ring at one time, he insisted on it being a no disqualification match.
Has there been a worse run of outfit choices than Jimmy Hart during this feud? All of his wrestling attire has been so hideous.
Hart started through. Kaufman started through and then backed out, and Hart held up in a hurry. Okay, we're ready for the big charge. Hart telling him, go get him, unload with that big right hand.
I'd be worried he'd cut a promo on me if I did any tree work for him.
Lawler's still saying, come on, Andy, take a shot. Kaufman steps out, Hart steps out. Hart now getting a little upset. He said, go get him, go get him. Neither one of them want to go get him. Can't say that I blame them, but they're the ones that got into this match. As Lawler lays back against the ropes, he's got his eye on Kaufman. He's got his eye on Kaufman. This may be one of the few times you'll ever see Jerry Lawler more interested in getting somebody else than Jimmy Hart. And he really wants a hold of Andy Kaufman. There's no signs of the Muhammad Ali we know. This must be another Muhammad Ali.
He wasn't able to keep that ruse up for very long once he got in the ring.
What is this? He went dancing across the ring and shot a right hand out. Lawler. Oh, he's going after him now. He almost has a hold of Kaufman. Got his tights. And Andy slips down to the floor, gets away. Now he's got Hart. We're 3 minutes into the bout, and Hart on the deck. Lawler said, come on, give me.
How much for a cameo of me? Maybe a tour of all the weed you own? I wouldn't want to do that.
Kaufman cornered. Has both hands up. Now he's down on the floor. Hart over in the other corner. Oh, he's got something in his hand. Oh, Hart throws the powder. Nails Andy Kaufman.
Bringing the powder back in, but we got the twist this time.
Kaufman jumps on Lawler's back. Kaufman right into the turnbuckle. Hart across the ring. Lawler going after Kaufman. And now he gets Lawler with a powder. He hit Kaufman with it the first time, or partially. And now both of them going after Jerry Lawler. Kaufman swinging weakly away at Lawler. Hart kicking him in the ribs. And now Andy follows up. And
Although if I was going to do it, I would do it for you. I think you're the longest tenured chat member.
Nails Lawler, and Lawler taking a pounding from both of them. Lawler back on his feet, and boy, Andy Kaufman nailed him. Hart goes down, Lawler down. Kaufman, he doesn't care about his partner. He hits Lawler again. And a double backhand from Jimmy Hart. Referee Jerry Calhoun pulls Hart off over on the ropes. Andy Kaufman swinging away with the best ability that he has. Hart again coming after Lawler. There is no disqualification. Lawler goes down, and the referee starts counting. Lawler is up at the count of 4. I don't think he was in any real danger. We're almost 6 minutes into the action. And Hart, he's swinging away at Lawler.
Your mother's first cousin married Coco Beware? Oh my gosh, man. Coco was like my favorite when I was a kid because he had that bird with him, Frankie. And if you went to the live show, you could like actually see Frankie.
Kaufman backed up when Hart backed up. Lawler as Kaufman.
I remember one time in the Royal Rumble, I don't remember which one it was, but Hogan was in there, and Hogan was like one of my favorites when I was a kid. He was in the Royal Rumble, and Coco Beware was in there, and they were like, you know, allies more or less. I always saw them as being somewhat aligned. Well, anyway, Hulk Hogan at one point like just stuck his nails into Coco Beware's back and like raked his back for no reason whatsoever, and like that for some reason that really pissed me off when I was a kid.
Hounds at him. I think Andy's a little out of shape too. And Lawler. Woo! There's Kaufman's best punch, no doubt about that. Lawler is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lawler is up at the count of 5. And Hart comes in after him. Andy is picking his shots. Lawler doubled over, and Kaufman just hitting him in the back. It looks like he's going after the kidney. Now to the midsection. Uh-oh.
Excuse me, the midsection? The lower abdominal area? No, he was hitting him right in the nuts.
Oh, blow from Andy Kaufman. No disqualification, remember. In, and Hart telling Kaufman, go get him. Whoa! He ripped him with a right hand. Can't give his left hook much, but his right starting to connect on Lawler.
Up, straps down.
Hart's seen that before, and he knows enough. Ooh, Lawler bangs him hard, knocks him down. Now he goes after Jimmy Hart. Kaufman down. The crowd says, get him. Lawler going in for a pile driver.
The Snowman is your dad's cousin. I feel like I read did they make a book about him? I swear I've read a book about the Snowman. Or maybe he was just featured in somebody else's book.
Hart slams Lawler. Just as he was getting ready to pile drive Kaufman. Both of them now coming over
doing. He's pulling Andy's glove off as Lawler rolls over, starting to come around. He's loading it up. I saw something flashing. He's got a bar or chain or something. No disqualification match. Lawler coming up. And Andy Kaufman bangs him. Both of them on top of Lawler. 2, 3. He's going to lose it. 9 minutes, 15 seconds. Jerry Lawler pinned by both Hart and Kaufman. So the winners in the handicap match, Andy Kaufman, Jimmy Hart defeat Jerry Lawler.
We take a break and we'll be back and find all about that in just a moment. Okay, in just a moment, we're going to be up there in the ring with the action, but I think there's some action going to be taking place before we ever get to the ring. In the background, I hear him leading the parade, Jimmy Hart and company with Andy Kaufman. Dream Machine.
What a spectacle.
Russian Invader, the A-Team. Okay, I give.
Is that Buddy Landell? And then I saw the Midnight Express guy, Dennis Condrey, who looks like he's like 100 years old here, but he was like in his 20s.
Victory party, baby. The greatest day of my life, the family's life, man. Can you believe all this, Russell?
No, I really can't believe it.
We won the world belts, the Southern heavyweight titles. We've got all the titles. Break out the champagne. Look at this. Here, give some to Russell here. Here. Come on, Russell, come on. Come on, let me put this #1 button right on you right there, Russell, because we're #1, baby.
Thank you, Dennis.
You know, this is the greatest day of my life. Like I said before, the World Championships now owned by the family.
Yeah.
We have the Southern Heavyweight Championship. My best friend in the world, Andy Kaufman's here with me right now.
The brains,
Right here, baby.
Easy down
What
for
a
the
great day.
celebration.
You know, the fabulous ones don't have it anymore. They're one-week wonders. The Rock and Roll Express, they're one-week wonders. They're too young to match anything with the first family of professional wrestling, baby. It's the greatest
Austin
day.
did, in fact, come up with a world title, and the Bruise Brothers with
The
a
world champion. The world champion. Woo! You know what? I want all the people at home, you know, we're enjoying this because it's the greatest day of our lives. Like I said,
I'm glad you are, Jim.
but I think you've got a couple of pieces of film, don't you? So have you got
As a
some film
matter
for
of
great
fact,
matches?
we've been doing the thanks. What do you say thank you, Andy. What do you say we roll the videotape and take a look at the conclusion of the world title match?
There you go, right here, baby.
And a big suplex from Lane. Andre makes the tag to Austin. Here comes Norvell. There's the tag on Steve Kern. Goes after Norvell Austin. There goes Austin outside through the second rope. Condrey grabs Kern, whips in and into a small package. Now, wait a minute. Let's see. I thought that Kern had Condrey. Cornette wheeled.
What are we seeing this foot? Did I miss something, or am I just really high? I don't know what happened. I don't know why we're seeing this footage.
In there. The next thing I know, a 3 count on Kern.
Beautiful. See? Stan Lane left.
Oh, they're just like celebrating it like all the heels won. Maybe that's the deal.
This man in the ring because he's a coward. He ran off because he knew it was too hot and heavy in the ring, baby. Family sticks together. That's why we win, brother. Woo!
The action is still disputed, obviously, by the fabulous one. But the titles do belong to Condrey and Austin.
Andre, the World Heavyweight Champions. Now, we still want to celebrate because now we've got a little film on the Bruise Brothers.
We do, in fact. The Bruise Brothers going
Southern
for the
Heavyweight
Southern
Champions.
Tag Team. Rigg and Roberts are showing no indications.
Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, the most prolific, the most prolific ring rat conquerors of all time.
That they're going to let up at all as they continue to work on the Dream Machine.
Oh, did you hear that? Dutch Mantel sighting. I don't know, the other wrestling commentator's daughter was killed by a drunk driver while she was pregnant? Oh, man.
Here comes Jimmy Hart.
My favorite Ricky Morton story is, I don't remember if it was in I think it was in the mid to late 2000s. He did a GoFundMe to asked his fans to pay for his back child support, and they did. It was like the funniest GoFundMe.
Back out at ringside. Hart pitches a chain.
I mean, I'm very vaguely familiar with Corey Macklin, just at a very surface level.
Dream Machine nails Rick Morton, and we may have new champions. We do. There's the 3 count.
That's one of the people that claims they have like a stake in the Memphis library, right?
What a great day for the family. You know, Jimmy Cornette next to Andy Kaufman, who's my best friend. Jimmy Cornette's my next to best friend, man. He's a little under the weather, but he'll be back with us. Don't you worry about that. But you see, you didn't say anything about the Fabulous Ones coming down the ringside, interfering in the match. 3 men jumping on 1 man, did you? But we are the champions, the Southern champions, the world belts. We have it all. Fabulous Ones, Rock and Roll Express, the Lawlers, you name them all, baby. Eat your heart out because the family is here to stay, baby. We're tired of being pushed around.
Well, Jimmy, we are going to see 2 of the family in action up here, and let's get it ready for the official introductions. Dave?
I think I'm going to stay around here and help you announce these matches.
Marvelous, Andy. I can't think of anything that'll thrill me anymore. Come on back around.
One fall, 10-minute time limit match here. Introducing at a total weight of 650 pounds from Topeka.
I knew there was a lot of like legal issues around the footage.
Kansas, Art Cruz. From Mississippi, Plowboy Frazier. Going against him at a total weight of 400.
Now, Plowboy Frazier, I think when he went to WWF WWF would have been Uncle Elmer, one of the Shuffling Hillbillies. Well, I don't know if they were called the Shuffling Hillbillies, but one of the like Hillbilly Jim's crew.
69 pounds. From Memphis, Tennessee, Norvell Austin. And from Florida.
Did Uncle Elmer ever get a figure in like any form, even in like one of the Legends lines, maybe?
Dennis Condrey. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. The referee is Jerry Calhoun.
Okay, we're about ready to go with the opening bout here on Championship Wrestling. Our special guest commentator, Mr. Andy Kaufman, is over here, while Jimmy Hart's taking care of business. It's the team of Condrey and Austin.
Once again, we were going to see why the first family is the best, the greatest.
I think that's where I know Corey Macklin from, was when he was part of the Memphis TV show.
On title bout and big 400-pound plus Giant Frazier is teamed with young Art Cruz. Art, first time on Championship Wrestling. Art is from Topeka, Kansas. He was trained by the former world champion, Pat O'Connor.
Hey! Okay, let's stop the match right now. The man pulled his hair. The man pulled his hair. Well, tell the referee to stop the match then.
Got all he can do to keep up with all of the first family
Yeah, well, why
members
doesn't he
around
just referee the match the right way? You know, that's the kind of thing that makes the sport. I'll tell you, a referee like that is just very bad for the sport. He doesn't.
Jeez, that guy is just enormous. I didn't remember him seeming that big as Uncle Elmer.
Play fair. He lets guys like that get out of pulling hair. Now,
Is his belly button leaking? I don't know. What an interesting person.
If this guy tries to pull his hair, he can't. No hair to pull.
That's tag on Art Cruz. Art was his first year out in the Pacific Northwest, and Art was the Rookie of the Year in the Pacific Northwest. He's been wrestling almost 3 years now. Still a long way to go, but got a good reputation. Count of 1, and that's all.
Now, see, that was a slow count. The referee could have been down there a lot faster and started counting a lot sooner. The match would have been over.
He hit him before he got hit, probably. Big slam from
That's a
Dennis
body
Condrey.
slam.
Art Cruz takes a headbutt from Norvell Austin. And Art right back with a stinging forearm.
Enough with the hair. Something about the small wrestling shows that's very nostalgic. Yeah, and I mean, it's an interesting dynamic too, because like these are small shows, but they feature some of like the biggest names of the time rotate in and out of this territory. So like it's a super intimate setting, but you're seeing all of the like big stars.
Condrey gets out of the way.
I don't think that was a forearm, Mr. Russell. I think that was a closed fist. And you know that he's not allowed to use a closed fist.
Yeah, what was that?
See what he'll do. Well, that guy, whatever that guy is, he will try and get away with anything he can while the referee is not looking. And when he wants to use a closed fist, he makes sure the referee's back is turned. That's what's going on. I think it's about time we expose some of the crookedness of these referees here.
Norvell, the big high knee, puts Cruz down.
We're exposing the crookedness of these referees.
Down on his back. Big knee lift. Art.
Okay, see a nice clean tag.
Condrey.
That's a nice clean tag. There we go. See, everything's fair and square.
Head on the turnbuckle. Tag off on Norvell.
Tag off, that's right.
Shot to the midsection. Art Cruz getting a rather rude
that's a forearm smash. That's the way it's supposed to be done. That was a close fist.
Our guest commentator, Andy Kaufman, who is...
See, this is what I don't like, Lance, when I see cheating. I think wrestling is a wonderful sport as long as it's played fair and square. When I see guys like that come in like that.
350 VHS tapes of Memphis footage? God damn. That's a pretty good chunk. Man, look at this guy's ass.
Frazier and his partner, they're cheating going on. Look at that. Look at that. That's not fair.
Big giant Frazier comes in. Lands. There's that big leg. He drops on him and puts the 400 pounds right over the top of him. Art Cruz going after Jimmy Hart. Norvell with a cane nails him right in the back of the neck.
I mean, the referee's completely lost control at this point.
Is put back on top. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be it. The winners are going to be Condrey and Austin. But Norvell jumped in there. The referee didn't have a chance to see it because of the confusion that Hart was causing. Now, you know it.
Okay. Once again, we've proved our point about the First Family Wrestling, Lance.
Verified everything.
Once again, that's right, we have.
Yeah.
Lance, that's the proof right there. The proof is in the pudding. We just won the match.
Andy,
what are you going to disagree with that? It's right before your very eyes. We just won the match. Oh, man.
Go join Jimmy Hart and see what other stuff they're cooking up.
They still make the old, or still have the old tape decks with DVD burners. Yeah, I have one. It's kind of spotty, but I keep it because every once in a while I'll get like a VHS tape somewhere and want to convert it. But now I probably think I would just convert it and put it on put it on YouTube.
I can't believe this guy is here for this victory party of Jimmy Hart. Andy Kaufman, the winners. Condrey and Austin over the team of Giant Frazier and young Art Cruz. Back in a moment. Hey, to the ring here in just a moment.
Who's the referee. Okay.
We've got a single match coming up, and we'll be ready for it.
Look at this smug prick in the back here.
In just a second, we've got...
He just always has he has like a certain look on his face all the time.
Got what, the Invader?
Russian Invader, Robert Reed.
Robert Reed, yeah. Here comes Hart back out with his Russian invader. And Andy Kaufman. I hear it.
My champion, baby, the greatest professional
Uh-oh, here comes Jimmy Hart with the... They're bringing in the commies from Hollywood.
athlete all over the United States, the world, baby, the Russian invader.
I finally got the Southern Tag Team, Southern Heavyweight match against the Jerry Lawler. For a minute, I was afraid that I'm not going to get it because everybody's played on me. I beat everybody. I proved myself. Everybody, I beat everybody here. Now I got it.
I'm just trying to trying to figure out if I could tell from the voice who this is under the mask.
Jerry Lawler, there is the one difference between me and you and rest of these puny American people. I don't drive a big car. I don't drive.
I was gonna say Barry Darsow, but I think this might be too early, and I don't know if he was in. I don't know his history in Memphis.
Expensive big cars. I don't wear expensive rings. I don't wear
expensive ring.
Expensive clothes. You know why? Do you know why? Because I send half of my check to the Russia, to my country Russia, where they take the money and buy the war bonds. Buy the war bonds to build the missiles. The missiles to keep the peace all over the world.
Back in the day, it was said if you weren't a real wrestler unless you wrestled in Memphis. I would kind of agree with that because I think there's like like Memphis wrestling, even the guys that aren't great technical wrestlers, there's just a psychology, even if you don't like enjoy the athleticism of some of the matches, like the mental aspect and the storytelling is just, it's really, really strong in Memphis. So passing through there and picking up on some of that probably would definitely make you a better worker.
That's why we got to build a missile to keep the peace. You're talking about the Thanksgiving parade. Do you want to see the parade? You're not going to see them. Buckwing, and Superman, big floating around. This is what the real parade is about. You look right here. This is a real parade. This is what the parade should look in the United States.
You imagine all these people in Memphis and you're making them watch a communist parade.
This is a Thanksgiving parade. The thanks we give for the missiles and peace that we keep around the world. Not to eat some turkey and celebrate some big old blown up balloons. This is what you got to celebrate. The thanks that the Russian government is keeping the peace all over the world.
You know, that's right. You know, Russian, too. Sunday night, there's a big movie coming on called The Day After, right, Russian?
You remember that Sunday night? You better watch this movie. Because if you get the Russian people mad, this is what's going to happen to you.
So The Day After, if you're not familiar, is like a nuclear holocaust fallout movie. So basically he's saying, you Americans better watch this movie because if you don't mind your P's and Q's, that's going to happen to you.
You're going to see that Sunday night. You better remember that.
All right.
The greatest athlete in the world today, the Russian invader, baby.
They're going to stand in the ring right now. Okay, Dave, let's have the introduction.
One fall, 10-minute time limit match. There we go. He has a tremendous size advantage on him. Count of two.
Vader vibes. He might be too small to be Vader. I don't know. And this is really early too. 83.
He got it. He got him. 1, 2, 3. That was about a minute long. There we go.
He got him in very little time. The Russian invader defeating Robert. Now he's going to do that. Where he breaks the flag. Come on. Robert Reed lying in the ring after being pummeled by.
Won't someone come out and put a stop to this?
The Russian invader.
The greatest athlete in the world. The greatest manager in the world.
I have not reviewed The Day After, but I reviewed this movie called Threads. And I understand that at the time, and it maybe in the UK at the time especially, people were really Like, and it's a serious movie, and it's what anyway, it's basically scarred entire generations of people. It's a like this dark, horrific, post-nuclear world, this post-apocalyptic world. But I thought it was really cheesy and corny. Like, I just thought it didn't work for me at all. And like, I'm pretty honest in my reviews. I'll say like, if I don't, even if it's like a classic, I'm just pretty open, and I'm just like, hey, I didn't like it. Here's why. Well, people got enraged about that. And like in the comment section is filled with people that are just so pissed off about this, like, stoned guy with a 2.5 minute snapshot review of this movie, but they got so mad about it. So I've kind of steered away from post-apocalyptic movie or post-nuke movies since then.
The first family of wrestling. That's right. The greatest. The greatest. The greatest man.
Well, and I tell him, I'd be like, look, it's nothing personal. Like, your taste is your taste, but I'm not scared by a movie that as a special effect has a clear plastic baby doll covered in ketchup. That's not scary to me. Like, I'm sorry. I can't suspend my disbelief. I know that's a doll covered in ketchup. It's not a real scene from a war-torn wasteland.
Manager and the greatest wrestler in the world, the first family of wrestling. This is my best friend, Dave, my best friend, Jimmy Hart. Okay.
The Russian invader gets the victory over Robert Reed. Took him a half minute, 30 seconds was the time on it, as the Russian...
Barely carrying something here. I want to set this down here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Look at Jerry Lawler coming out with like a whole new ensemble. They got the sleeveless leather vest, maybe?
We can see here. Hart has all his little props and all his little things. I just wanted to bring this.
A Boy and His Dog. Was that the one with Don Johnson, or is he in one that has a similar name to that?
Out here for just a second. You want to get over here?
Yeah, okay, here.
Of course, as you did say, I'm once again the owner of the Southern Heavyweight title after knocking off Jesse Ventura up in Chicago.
I think my other kind of review that got a little bit of fame at one point was it was for this movie by a guy named Jess Franco, and it was this really shot on VHS, really obscure movie that was called like Paula Paula, and basically the whole movie is just this lady completely naked while this like experimental jazz plays in the background. And one of the like pull quotes from my review said like that this was the Citizen Kane of shaved pussy and jazz. The people really liked that one.
You know what was interesting about that is that luckily I was called in at the last minute as a substitute in that match. He was supposed to wrestle Wahoo McDaniels up there, and he was ill or something. Anyway, they called me, asked me if I could substitute, and was more than glad to. And came away with the title. Now let's just talk just a second about this Russian invader. You know, as I said, I brought this along here. I may have it covered up. As you can see what this is. This is about 100 pounds of wheat. Now, what the Russian doesn't realize is, he's talking about all their bombs and all of their missiles and all of this kind of stuff that they make to keep the peace around the world.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, well, let me just tell the Russian invader something. First of all, you're in the United States of America right now, I don't know if you realize that or not, but that's where you're at. You're in the United States of America. And as I've said before, there are a lot of things...
Isn't there something that's definitely not family friendly that goes under the under the moniker of Sounder? Oh yeah, I think I know which movie you're talking about. I see all. That's the issue with getting even licensed movie nights, right? Because you can't even have like the slightest bit of Twitch. It's not really an issue because they're not really monitoring what you're doing live unless there's a direct copyright claim from the actual owner. So you can kind of show a movie and then just delete the VOD, but YouTube you can't do that. Like the AI will pick up on it. I did get legal clearance for 2 movies, so that are totally YouTube safe that we can watch like start to finish. But it's pretty difficult finding like really wacky movies that are basically like PG-13.
Wrong with this country, but there are a lot more things right with it than there are wrong. And one of the right things is the fact
he had the coolest beard ever, the Rebel Alliance logo.
That a jerk like you, from
after everything they've been through, he's still just like, you jerk.
Russia, can come out here and have the freedom to say what you please. You can come on television in front of hundreds of thousands of people and downgrade this country. But that's because you're free to do that over here. Now, there's no way in Hades, brother, that a person like me or like Lance Russell could go to Russia and get on television and say anything derogatory about the Soviet.
I think the restrictions will actually work out better for the viewers. It'll force me to kind of find shit that's really weird, but within those guidelines, which will probably like narrow it down a lot, so we'll end up with like better, or I'm not gonna say better, but at least crazier content. Like, I'm not really choosing what I think is gonna be good. I'm trying to pick stuff that I think would be fun to watch with viewers.
Soviet Union, because you see, you don't have those kind of freedoms over there. Because it's nothing but a rotten, stinking hellhole full of a bunch of communist jerks like you, Russian invader. And I want to tell you something else. Something else I don't think you understand. Now, you're talking about all of these missiles, and you're talking about all this stuff that you would like to do, and all the things that you would like to do to the people here in the United States. Well, one of the things that I said, there's some things wrong with this country, and one of the things that's wrong with them is the fact that we have farmers who work day and night.
Oh, thanks, Original King Alpha. I appreciate it.
To grow wheat, and then we sell it, turn around and sell it to jerks like you over in Russia. Millions of bushels of wheat every year we sell to the Russians.
This is amazing. He's talking about trade agreements. They brought all the actual stuff out here. This is a wild-ass promo.
So what you don't understand is you talk about blowing up the United States. You blow us up, idiot. And you people starve to death because you're...
There, you cut right to it. You blow us up, idiot. You starve to death.
Too ignorant. You're too stupid. You're too asinine to grow your own food. You're too busy building bombs and...
Man, what a promo. This is like amazing.
Building missiles. Well, let me tell you something, Russian. I'll tell you another bit of freedom we got. We got the freedom to show a stupid movie that's coming on like the day after.
I like this. I like his style.
And what that movie, I think, if you ask me, I think there's some sort of communist plot behind that, because what that movie is designed to do is...
Oh, sure, he says things about post-nuke movies, and he's a good guy. I say something about him, and I'm the worst YouTube movie critic ever.
To make the American people afraid of the Russians. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not going to watch the stinking movie, and I don't think anybody else should watch it, because I'm not afraid of you, Russian, and the Americans are not afraid of Russia, and we'll kick your butt any day of the week, brother. And you're going to find that out when you step in the ring with me. I want you to know that, Russian.
Well, I got a feeling that when the activity gets going.
I mean, that was amazing. That was just an amazing wrestling promo.
And Lawler does beat the Russian invader. It's going to be a little more than just a wrestling match. Dave, let me slide around the 100 pounds of wheat. Lawler said, hey, let's get it on right here, right now. This will not be a title match, by the way, Davey, as you well know, but we'll tell the folks that. It's a one-fall, 10-minute time limit bout. Kaufman out here stirring up trouble and staying as far away from the ring as he can.
His lawyer ran for mayor of Memphis? Or Lawler ran for mayor of Memphis? Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Want to get next to Jerry Lawler. And now the official introductions, Dave.
It's going to be one fall, 10-minute time limit.
Is that Buddy Landell? I like Buddy Landell. Besides this, my favorite Jerry Lawler stuff is when he was going after the Hart family. I always thought that was really funny.
From Florida at 224 pounds, the Mid-America champion, Buddy Landell. And going against him from Memphis, Tennessee, 232 pounds, the AWA Southern Heavyweight Champion, the King, Jerry Lawler. This match, one fall, 10-minute time limit. Referee Jerry Calhoun.
Hey, this will be an interesting one, too. Landell, who has got a big mouth, but
Excuse me. That's right. Look at that. Here we go. Here's that dumb Memphis hick, Jerry Lawler. He's so stupid, Lance. You know, you'd think he would have learned by now not to tangle with the brains of Hart and Kaufman. Let me tell you something. You'd think he would have learned his lesson. I thought I taught him over and over again. That one time he hurt me, but I've got him back so many times, and I've taught him his lesson, and you'd think he would have learned by now.
I don't even remember where we are in the storyline. I've just accepted now that this is kind of a forever war between Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman / Jimmy Hart. I don't even need to know. I just know it's good.
And he still wants to come after me. Look at that.
He's such over here far from the ring and say what you want.
He better stay in that ring, because if not, that my friend is going to beat him up. He's going to stay in that ring.
Buddy Landell throws him back.
And let me tell you something. If he does get to me, I'll sue him for everything he's worth. Lays one finger on me. He's nothing. He's nothing. See, he's big, okay? He has a lot of brawn, but he has no brains, Lance. All he's used to doing is plowing the fields and the farm. Look at that. Oh, Lawler, what's the matter now? What's the matter now? Hey, Lawler! Shut up. You don't even know what you're doing announcing, Russell. I've seen wrestling all over the country. I've been in wrestling rings all over the place. I've seen announcers in every territory, in every state of the union. And let me tell you, you are the worst announcer I have ever seen.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
At least I'm working.
Listen.
I love this energy of him on commentary. It's just like, you're the worst commentator I've ever heard.
Mr. Russell, let me tell you something. I don't notice you getting in the ring like me. I had the guts to get in the ring. I had the guts to get. Yeah, well, I had the guts. I had the guts to get in the ring. Okay, Russell.
Landell sets him over the top of the.
You know something, Russell? If you were a real man, maybe you'd get in the ring. At least I showed that I was a man. I could get in the ring.
Well, the next time you get in with Jerry Lawler, that'll be interesting to see just how long you stay there. Lawler now, let's get down there.
I can outsmart Lawler any day of the week. I'm not afraid of that man.
Standing side head off, Landell with a king.
See, now look at that. See, it's perfect scientific hold. He doesn't have to use a pile driver. He doesn't have to use illegal holds. He doesn't have to use his fist like a dumb hick Lawler. He uses scientific headlock. Hey, he's using the top rope. See, that's what I mean. Lawler's using the top rope. That's illegal.
Lawler put Landell on the top rope.
He put him on the top rope. That's right. Illegal. He's not allowed to do that. From ring experience, Russell, okay? I'm talking from ring experience. I have been in the ring, and I've been in the ring with this guy, Lawler. I've been in the ring with a lot of people, okay? I have been in the ring several times. You've never been in the ring, so you can just keep your mouth shut. You all know from experience. I know from experience, and that's what I'm talking from. I am an experienced person when it comes to this. You're just running off at the mouth. That's what you do. Running off
You have also been in the hospital.
That's right. That's the injuries I have to take.
Lawler and Buddy Landell were about 3 minutes
Lawler just used the fist. Hey, referee, why don't you wise up and use his fist? Hey, use his fist. Okay, now you're seeing some real wrestling. Now you're seeing some real wrestling. And Russell, I didn't appreciate.
Challenging Russell to a match now. He was like 70-something at the time. Yeah. I think he's great on commentary. I wouldn't want him on every match, but on like matches he was involved in, I think he's really entertaining to listen to.
Okay, I'm working. Okay. That was a close fist. Okay, stop the match right now. Stop the match right now. You are disqualified.
Thank you, Jerry. Kaufman takes off.
That man disqualified right now. I want him disqualified right now. Because he uses fist and he's trying to come after me. He uses the fist. He uses fist. He's not allowed to.
Like, this is such a, in the wrestling world, such a historic moment, and it's playing out in front of this, like, tiny little crowd. That's so cool.
Hey, Calhoun, how much is he paying you, huh?
Here comes Lawler out of the ring after Kaufman and Hart. Landell catches him from behind and nails him down on the floor. While Jerry was concentrating on Andy Kaufman, and now, of course, you can see everybody jumps on. Kaufman up and down, acting like an idiot about...
Acting like an idiot.
Landell throwing him down on the...
Beat his brains
on the
out,
floor.
man!
Landell has him back in the ring. Talking about using fists, now you saw him use his fist.
Using the open hand so he stands there. There goes elbow slam. Tried to do it.
He was trying to get you to leave the area is what I think he was trying to do.
He was a genius. He figured it was all about working the crowd, making them hate you so much that they eventually love you. Yeah, and I mean, it's a simple concept, but it's so difficult to actually be able to pull it off. I mean, this is, to me, is like, this is top tier, like, wrestling storytelling, and it's heavily around a guy who had never wrestled before.
Now, slamming away on the King. We're halfway through the action, 5 minutes into the one fall, 10-minute time limit.
Into the turnbuckle. Into the turnbuckle. There we go.
And now, Lawler.
Pulled his hair. He pulled his hair. That was hair. That was hair.
The shrieking you hear is from Andy Kaufman, who is Hart's special guest at the First Family Victory Party today. Landell slammed down, center of the ring. Lawler flying off the rope. Nails him with a right.
Man, it looked like he really laid that in there. Memphis Wrestling was regular on TV every Saturday morning at 10.
Right hand's going to be a disqualification.
I think, like, I watched WWF Superstars. I want to say there was like a Saturday morning or afternoon show. But then there was also like basically what amounted to a clip show. You never got to see full matches, but you'd get to see like highlights. I don't remember what the name of that show was, though.
Jimmy Hart jumps in the ring. Lawler nails him from behind. Landell bangs him.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Hart in there, and the Russian Invader out. He comes over, he picks up that 100-pound bag of wheat.
He's coming in to redistribute the wheat.
Come on, bring it up.
I love how they paid off the wheat story. That was kind of odd at the time when Lawler did that whole promo around the wheat, but now we're getting the good payoff. Oh, the Saturday night. Yeah, but that was like main event. That was like a really big deal.
Lawler in the head with
Lawler, what's the matter? Go, get up, put it at him. That's right. That's right. That's what you think you're now, are you, Lawler?
Down on his head. Come on, get him out.
All right.
What complete and utter disrespect to America's farming community.
Everybody's jumping on somebody when he's down. Oh, man, he crushed Lawler with that. He just smashed him with
Daddy Lawler, you want the weed, you got your weed. I don't need that stinking weed. The Russian people don't need that stinking weed.
Okay,
you take it home and feed your children with it.
Take him out with you. Jerry down in the ring. It's going to be a disqualification when Hart jumped in there. And now Giant Frazier and Coco and some of the guys coming out to get the King out of the ring. I'll tell you what, we're going to take time out and see if they can...
Let me tell that stinking Russian invader one thing, brother. We got a little...
Sorry about that. I looked it up. The Russian invader is Jerry Novak, who I'm pretty sure we saw him on one of the Mid-South episodes, or maybe earlier in this. I remember we've seen something with Jerry Novak, but I don't really know much about him.
Bag, and we got a little bit of this wheat left, and I want to tell you something. I'm going to bring this with me down to that ring this week. And there's a little bit of this wheat left in here, and I promise you, you're going to eat this wheat, Russian, through the other end, brother. I guarantee
Whoa, you're going to eat this wheat through the other end.
you that, because I'm not scared of you one bit. And I'm going to prove it to you when we get in that ring. We're going to see what a Russian can do to America. And I promise you, brother, you're going to eat this one way or the other. Okay.
Oh, man.
Well, we're back on the Jerry Lawler Show, and we don't want to waste any time because I've got some things I want to say to this guy. This is our bad guy interview segment, and this guy came in #2 on the turkey list. None other than Andy Kaufman, and there he is. You came in #2 on our turkey contest.
Listen, Lawler, I didn't know that you were having a contest like that, and if I'd known, I'll sue you. I'll sue you for having me on a contest like that. You are using my name, my face. My name is worth money, and you want to put me on a turkey contest? Let me tell you something. You put my head on the face on that turkey, and I'm going to sue you for slander and libel. That's making me look bad.
No, we're not doing that. God beat us to that. But let me just say that...
Lawler, I didn't come here to be insulted. I'll walk right out of here. I'm telling you right now, I'm used to being on big shows nationwide. I'm not used to being on a little rinky-dink local show.
He did a lot of local promotion stuff.
And what are you trying to be like David Letterman with the Jerry Lawler Show? You're always telling me not to be in the wrestling business. Now you're trying to be in show business like me. You don't belong in show business. You should stay in the wrestling business, Lawler.
Okay, well, let me just say this, Mr. Kaufman. I understand you know, you had come on here and...
What a setup this is. How interesting.
Said all of this big talk about how Muhammad Ali had been training you.
Yeah, I watched that movie. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think anyone looked like the people they were supposed to be. I thought maybe like, who was the one guy? The Freebirds, I guess, were okay, but I thought that, I don't know, it just didn't really work for me that well. The Ric Flair guy was terrible. Holy shit, that guy was awful.
To be a boxer.
Like, wouldn't you think playing Ric Flair would be like so cool as an actor because you can really like cut loose and go like over the top? And then the guy was completely like almost monotone. It was awful.
And I knocked you out.
What is your preoccupation with being a wrestler or a boxer? What about...
Lawler, I knocked you out. What are you talking about? I knocked...
But I don't think the movie overall was awful. I just think Ric Flair was awful, but it just wasn't like what I was hoping for. Yeah, this office is like super interesting to me. It looks like a super villain lair or something. He's got this camera in the, like having a TV in the wall in this at this time is really interesting.
You out with a right hook, and I'll knock you out again tomorrow night with a windmill.
Who are you looking at? Here, hey, there I am.
Huh?
What are you looking at, the monitor? I'm over here. Here I am. Look in the camera. Talk to
Lawler,
me, Kaufman.
don't be a wise guy, okay? Because I'll knock you out the same way I did last week. Look, you thought you were a big man when it comes to wrestling. Fine, you're okay. You can beat me in wrestling. You give me the pile driver, which is illegal in the first place. I knocked you out when I had those boxing gloves on. You just give me a pair of boxing gloves, and I'll knock you out again. I'll knock you out every time, Lawler. Haven't you learned your lesson? You're so dumb. You're so dumb, Lawler.
Well, let me ask you something. What about what about your career, Andy? As are you planning?
Yeah, like a limited series probably would have been better. And I also read that like they left out one entire brother. Well, I know they left one out, but I read that it was because they said the movie was too sad. Like, that's the point. Like, this isn't, you can't turn this into a feel-good story, except for maybe the one brother, but he's got so much loss. Like, it's just, it was never going to be a feel-good movie. Like, so why not tell the entire, like, they also didn't talk at all about Fritz being, like, abusive and how he treated his sons and his, you know, and his family. So, I don't know. I think they left out a lot of stuff to try to make it, to make the Von Erichs more sympathetic than they really were, in my opinion. And that's that's based off of what I've seen in shoot interviews and read about in books, like with people talking about that whole situation.
You know, making boxing a career now, or what is it?
Lawler, I have a good career, okay, and I just do this for fun because I want to knock you out. I don't like what you did to me. And let me tell you something else, Lawler. Let me just tell you something else. I don't have to come here and be slandered by you, and I don't have to come here and.
You think the coughing is because he's sick? That might be right around this time, and he does kind of seem to have his vibes just a little bit off tune.
Be on a little rinky-dink show with you. I don't even know why I'm here doing this.
Well, you obviously you were asked to do it, and you've obviously agreed to do it.
Lawler, why aren't you having me one-on-one like Dave Brown? Why don't you have me one-on-one? Are you afraid of me? You afraid of me because you're such
Dave Brown, name dropped again.
a wimp? If you were a real man like you always said you would, you have me in the same studio with you. Do you understand, Lawler? Huh? I'm not afraid of you, but you're afraid of me. Otherwise, I'd be in the same studio. Come on, Lawler. Why don't you have me on one-on-one, Lawler?
Okay, well, we're going to be one-on-one tomorrow night, so that's...
Yeah, and I'll give you the windmill. Let me give you a little advice, Lawler. Don't get too close to me because I'll knock you to the ground. I'm going to just keep that windmill going for an hour if I have to. I've been training every day. I have the windmill going for an hour, and I can keep you away from me. If you get too close, I'll knock you right down to the ground.
Okay, Andy, thanks for being here. I can just say this. You will be able to make some money as a boxer because you can sell advertising space on the soul.
I think anything with Coco Beware is always a good idea. He doesn't look good there. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, and I know we're coming up on the end.
Those are your shoes after I get through with you there tomorrow night. That's enough. We're going to talk about a monkey. We've had enough out of that monkey.
Oh, boy. That's doing so good. Jimmy, there's an interesting sign I saw over there that, well, we'll get to that later.
What a great day. What's the interesting sign? What sign, man? What sign?
Somebody was holding up a sign. I thought you might be interested. Yeah, there it is, right over there. See, at least they called you a big wimp.
Well, that's right. Well, let me tell you what. Even the signs can't worry me today. The people can't.
Feeling good, huh?
Baby, I feel great. What a super day for professional wrestling. I got a little piece of film I'm going to show you very shortly. But let me, on a sadder note, you know.
Man, this guy in the background looking like a robot or something, like a statue.
Two things happened this week in my life. One very...
What's going on here? What kind of makeup is this guy here? What kind of makeup is he wearing? Is it just me, or does he look really weird here? Is this like a Halloween episode? What's going on?
Tragic and
like, what's going on here? Did I miss something in the storytelling as to why this guy looks like this?
one very positive and very happy. The sad thing, and I think you've got a little clip of this on the bulletin board now, if you'll show it. A very close and personal friend of mine, Andy Kaufman, is dying of cancer. I know you laugh about it. Go ahead, you laugh. You people are sick.
I'm not gonna laugh.
But let me tell you what, the man who...
There are people there that are cheering it. That's absolutely nuts.
Who can't sleep at night is Jerry Lawler. How can Jerry Lawler go to bed at night thinking about what he did to this man? Because everybody knows 5 ways of cancer, baby. 5 ways. And the number one way of catching cancer is when you get a bruise or a lump on you, man. That's cancer. And he's got...
I mean, listen, you want to talk about those times when, like, Grace doesn't want to do something and Ben will be like, hey, listen, I thought you wanted to be in like the entertainment business, not the fancy business. Like, that's this moment. Like, Andy Kaufman in real life really is dying of cancer, and he's like, make this shit a storyline. Like, that's, talk about commitment to art. Like, it's just this is really wild.
Cancer of the brain, and that is caused from that pile driver that Jerry Lawler... Don't go all, Jimmy. You know it's caused about it. Because of the pile driver, Lawler, you gave Andy Kaufman cancer, and he is dying, baby, and that is the fact. But
blaming real-life cancer on Jerry Lawler, that's Keno.
It's going to be payback for you. Now, that's number one. But going to a happier note, Big Joe LeDuc, baby, is on his way back. Let me tell you something. Eddie Marlin, Mr. Tight Pocket...
Well, man, I love Coco, but I don't really have time for any additional projects right now. Cancer from a pile driver, yeah. Victim of a pile driver.
The big man of professional wrestling. He thought he was going to throw a curveball at Jimmy Hart because he thinks Jimmy Hart can't hit curves. But, baby, I can hit anything. So what I did, I got me a good attorney. I got me a good lawyer. And you know what he found out right here in the paper came in the mail yesterday afternoon? You can't refuse a wrestler or anybody else his right to work, and that's exactly what Eddie Marlin tried to do with the help of Jerry Lawler. So all those petitions y'all signed didn't do a bit of good, baby, because Joe LaDuke is on his way back.
All the work you put in for nothing.
It will be payback time for you, Jerry the King Lawler.
That'll make
but
Lawler
a
happy.
super day in wrestling, mark my words, a super day in wrestling. Now, I've got a little piece of video I want to show you of a pep talk that I had with the first family of wrestling. Can y'all guys roll that film up there, brother?
This is a
Yo.
Well, Jerry, I know it's not a pleasant subject, but I just wanted to.
All right, so this is the last chapter in the story, unfortunately, and it's and again, it's a testament to like how important this was to Andy Kaufman, that every aspect of like his health at the end was worked into his storyline in Memphis, including like them bringing out Jerry Lawler, the guy that he's been feuding with all this time, comes out to deliver the message that he's passed away. Like that's, I mean, it's hard to believe that like they actually did that.
To ask because you were so prominent in his wrestling career. We saw the sad news about Andy Kaufman passing away, and I just wondered if you had any comments to make about it.
Well, you know, that is changing the subject, and I got some more I want to say about Humongous, but really, I am not, you know, I've had calls all week ever since, ever since Andy Kaufman did pass away. I've had calls from TV stations all across the country wanting to know my comments about Andy Kaufman's death. I'm really the wrong person to talk to about that. You know, I didn't like Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman didn't like me. I'm sorry that the guy's dead, but I would think that, you know, I always thought that when somebody dies, you talk to somebody that thought a lot of him. I hope that if I die, they don't interview Jimmy Hart, because, you know, I can imagine what he's going to say about it. It's a sad situation. I'm sorry about it. But other than that, you know, that's all I got to say. The thing about Monday night, I want to tell Humongous this, and I want to tell the fans that, you know, the support is, as I said, in the past few months, I sat back, I looked at some of my matches, and I realized I have neglected, it's been my own fault, I've neglected my career, and I've let the fans down. But as I said, my mind is in the right place now. It's head on, straight ahead, and brother, the Southern Heavyweight Championship for years has been known as my belt, and I still consider it my belt, and I don't make promises with my mouth that my body can't keep. So I'm making this promise right now to all of the people, to all of the fans, that Monday night I will beat Humongous and win my Southern Heavyweight title back. Either that or I'll wind up in the hospital. Now that's a promise, Lance. I know that's a heavy statement. He's going to have to do such a number on me that I'll be in a local hospital, or either I'll walk out of that ring with my belt back, and that is a promise.
I certainly hope the belt is around about that hospital.
Well, there we go. There's Andy Kaufman's Memphis run, at least the most complete set that I could find. I'm sure we'll do another Andy Kaufman day, because I want to watch some Tony Clifton stuff, and I want to watch the Breakfast with Blassie, but I don't have time to do it today. Well, thanks for taking this wonderful historic journey with me through one of my favorite artists. I love Andy Kaufman. I love performance art in general, but I think his is just like not even like next level, like next galaxy or whatever. What an intent. I can't believe like they worked he literally had Jimmy Hart come out and say that Jerry Lawler's pile driver gave him cancer. Like that's such a commitment to the bit. Wow. All right. Well, thanks again. I appreciate you coming by to hang out. I'll be back on tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll post a thing tonight.